to meet the people on the Keeler Show today.
It's time to read the news and weather. Time to figure out what to say. It's time to turn the channel of the Keeler Show today. Why do we always listen?
Keeler's always in the know.
It makes me want to call him
And tell him where to go.
And now let's get things started. Andrew, let's get things started.
It's time to get things started.
On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational. This is what we call the Keeler Show.
Celebrating 100 years.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Well, good morning. Good morning, Jeff Manansky.
Good morning. How are you?
It's the 21st. Today is the 21st of April. And, you know, April ends next week, and we're already in May. So, and here we are on April 21st, and the Mets have lost 11 straight to begin the season.
I thought we were going weather way.
Oh, okay. It's cold, but it's gonna. Tomorrow will be almost. I think tomorrow or Thursday will be almost 70.
Yeah. So I use this analogy too often, but an old line from Seinfeld. It's like tipping over. He was talking about breaking up in a relationship, but he said it's sometimes like tipping over a vending machine. You have to rock it back and forth a few times to get it to turn over.
Well,
and I think that's like the weather, right? We got some good momentum.
I think
a little
so.
back and forth, and hopefully this is the overturn of that vending machine.
Yeah, let us hope so.
I'm hoping this is it here.
A bunch of stuff to get to today. National Cancer Control Month is underway, and why colorectal cancer is a bit of a problem with younger people right now. We'll get into that. That is one of the cancers that I had. And, Real Men Get Tested. Tim Reed and myself, we are all about getting out there, especially guys, not procrastinating, get tested before it gets too developed, established in your body. If you catch it early, you could save your life. We have some interesting local stories that are just hitting. Number one, what is going on between the mayor and the comptroller in the city of Utica? There is a bit of a Frank Miola and Mayor Galimi. There's a bit of a public battle going on. Apparently, so I think this would go back when Morehouse was the comptroller.
Okay, so I'm looking for Smitty.
This is like 1920 or 2024, I think, when it first started. And apparently, we were using Utica was using pen and paper for their accounting duties.
Okay, so yes,
and they paid a bill twice. Somebody paid a bill twice.
Smitty printed this off. WKTV's got details on the story here. 2024, the city paid a $485,000 bill twice, which officials said happened because they were using pen and paper. That Mayor Galimi said, quote, that happened because we were using pen and paper. Thankfully, the vendor said, hey, by the way, you paid us twice. We could technically cash this check, but we won't. But how many times were we sending out payments twice when we were using pen and paper? You're right. This dates back to Bill Morehouse's administration. And I have to ask, it's a similar thought with the mayor kind of saying, hey, the comptroller's office needs to do better. And he's kind of pointing to Frank Miola. Look, we talked about this before. That's an elected position. He's saying
that Frank Miola is not using
this minus technology.
Munis,
maybe Munis,
whatever.
Yeah. It's not minus, it's Munis.
I don't know what it is, to be honest. So I'm just surmising. But that Frank Miola is not using, he's also using pen to paper and feels that because of that, it's confusing to determine what bills there are, who's been paid, what's been paid. Has there been another bill that's been paid twice? So, but how do these things make it public? Like if you and I have an issue, it's like, I don't know, you're doing your news in sign language, and I
don't know why you're bringing this up now.
Well,
I mean, I just did a news update, so I think you can wait till the top of the hour.
Only the people on YouTube can see your hands. People on radio, they can't see your sign language. So
yeah, it's interesting why. Again, this is a new administration as far as the comptroller's office goes. So if you have an issue with a bill being paid twice in 2024, why don't you call out Morehouse?
Right? Why don't you, at the very least, if the comptroller is not using the software, why don't you go and have it out with him behind closed doors? And none of that is happening here.
So
you're right. You started with this is an elected position.
Yeah. I do want to go down that road for a second, but I'll also say I guess maybe the mayor is using this as an example as to what can happen if you don't properly track the bills that you've paid.
Yes.
And he could say, hey, most recently in 2024, we had almost a $500,000 bill, $485K, that was nearly paid twice. I think it is an elected position. So whether he's using pen and paper or a computer, I don't believe Frank Miola is the guy who's crunching the numbers, right? Don't we?
No, I think that is the rub. Now, if you dig deeper into the story, the mayor implies that Frank is not using deputies or a deputy who is an accountant to do the books, that Frank is doing the books himself. Okay. And feels that he should be using an accountant to do these things.
Yes, quote, the comptroller's office needs to have an accountant doing the reconciliations in real time. It's the only way to do it. If overtime is being spent, it needs to be paid out of the overtime account. If salaries are being spent, it needs to come out of that account. Also, we need to put the budget director and purchasing agent back in the requisition program so that we can actually have oversight from the start of a purchase. Miola said he's very disappointed with the mayor and plans to give a statement at a later time.
Well, and it sounds like what he's implying is that he's disappointed that this has gone public. Nonetheless, it has, and there is a squabble now between the comptroller. And it's just like the good old days. The good old days. Next week, you're not going to believe it, I'm hearing Mayor Mike Galimi is going to cut off half the door on every office in the building so that people can see inside. No doors will be remaining shut. You remember that was an Ed Hanna thing back in the 70s. So,
yes,
whatever.
I don't know. Also, Mayor Lopolo used to sit on a book to look taller.
That's funny. Well, I can identify with that. What's wrong with that?
So, look, if this is really the way it's being done, I do think it needs to be called out. It's not a good look.
Well, I got to tell you, I mean, it's the way it was done.
I'm curious as to why now.
For decades, right? Anyway, so there you have that story. Another unique local story, I find. State Oversight Panel has recommended a Herkimer County Town Justice. What is going on? Listen, I'm from Herkimer County. My dad is a legislator in Herkimer County and works at that job very hard, especially in the world of constituent services. And but it seems like another bad, for every good story they have, there's another bad one that lingers out there that brings on embarrassment to the county.
Yeah.
I don't know. State Oversight Panel has recommended a Herkimer County Town Justice be removed from improper communications, dismissing cases without following the law, and demonstrating a lack of basic legal knowledge. Now, these judges...
It's an elected position.
It's an elected position. And oftentimes, these judges are not attorneys. I know in Herkimer County, one of the judges is Carl Mann. Carl is very well-versed on the law. He is an attorney, a good one at that, and he is a judge. So I would feel, and Jeff Stone is a judge in Herkimer County. Jeff Stone,
yes,
who we all know, and Jeff is a very good, solid judge. However, the difference between the two, one is an attorney, one is not. But you have to study, you have to follow, you go to classes, but not everyone is an attorney. So that makes this tricky. It is you're judged by your peers, and it's an elected position. The State Commission on Judicial Conduct announced Monday that John Skinner, a justice in the town of Columbia, which is where I grew up, in the town of Columbia, repeatedly violated judicial rules and failed to maintain professional competence. Skinner was first elected back in 2009. He is not an attorney, retired from the bench December 31st, 2025. The judge was informed of the charges against him August of 2025. So if he retired, what are we talking about?
Right. I don't understand. I don't know why. Well, I guess the recommendation, let's see. Did the recommendation come at the end of August?
The commission can, okay, so the judge was informed of the charges in August. The commission can still proceed with seeking his removal because that would permanently bar him from holding any judicial office in New York. It would also make sure that this is run ragged through the media so that everybody can know the embarrassment of what occurred. I would feel like it's done.
Yeah.
Unless he tries to become a judge again, let's leave this alone. But apparently that's not how they're going to do it. In a determination dated February 17th, the commission found Skinner engaged in a pattern of misconduct across multiple cases, including holding improper one-sided conversations with defendants, known as ex parte communications, and dismissing charges without notifying prosecutors.
There's several examples here, and some of them kind of make me chuckle. In one of these cases,
some of these are. I said to my wife last night, I'm like, I kind of like that. I like that.
I listen, I'm with you on that. There's one that makes me laugh because it reminds me, I'll say it this way, of an old wives' tale. I'll get into that in a second. But this one here, in one case involving a dispute between neighbors over dogs running loose, Skinner spoke privately with the defendants, reviewed photos they brought, and dismissed the charges despite believing they were guilty, according to the commission's findings. Prosecutors and the complaining witnesses were not present or notified.
Well, that's a problem.
Yes, but I could see this where him going, look, I understand you got a couple dogs and you got a big field. You either got to put a fence up or you got to do this. Otherwise, something's going to happen. Now, you've been brought in on this. It's a serious issue. Put up a fence around your property. And I don't know that's what happened. I'm just surmising something like that could happen.
Yeah.
Because it's about dogs running loose.
Well, I have another scenario.
Go ahead.
It's like, Bobby, we've known each other.
Oh, well, that's not good.
We've known each other for 50 years, for God's sakes.
How many beers have I bought you?
What the hell are you doing?
Oh, listen, Judge, these people, these neighbors, they're just terrible people.
Yeah, I knew his father. His father was a real troublemaker. All right, listen, here's what we're going to do. Just try to keep things on the down low. I'm going to dismiss this one for you. And we're going to see you at that hunting expo we're doing.
Yeah, right?
You know. Again, I don't know that happened, but it is certainly possible.
I have one here. The judge later summoned the neighbor to court. This is a follow-up to the dogs running loose. The judge later summoned the neighbor to court after the case had already been dismissed, despite having no legal authority to do so. So imagine that you have some type of friction that leads you to court. Case is dismissed. And then, I don't know, 2 weeks, 2 months later,
the judge wants
the law
to see
comes
you.
Looking for you. Like, the judge wants to talk to you about what?
Judge Skinner wants to see
Yeah,
you.
tell him to go fly a kite. This case is over.
I once had a case where it was a contract dispute, and the judge brought us in the room and said, listen, I'm just going to tell you, I swear to God, I know how these cases go. Now, I'm telling you, I did everything to tell the truth. Even my own shortcomings. I'm like, the way to do this is you give everything. You tell everything. Even if you've made a mistake here or there, you tell it. But you tell the truth. And the judge is like, listen, I know how these things go. Half the stuff you say is true. Half the stuff he says is true. And it's somewhere in the middle. No, that's not true. That's wrong. But I had to sit there. And he said, I just want you to know that's how I'm going to take the amount and I'm going to cut it in half,
right,
and award you that money. And I'm like, well, that's $80,000 you're cutting in half here,
right?
But I couldn't say that because it's the judge, and he said, you're going to agree to that? Because if you don't, that's what I'm going to rule. Well, what would I say? Because he could have come out of there and saying, oh, he's being stubborn. I rule in
full
favor
AD.
of the defendant. So take it for what I mean. These
I
things
have
do
another one
happen.
here.
These things do happen. But what am I going to do? I'm going to file a complaint against the judge? No. You're just going to tell the story 25 years later.
Now, this one made me smile because it reminded me.
We got a guest coming up.
Oh, I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
There's an appropriate way to dress when you go to court for sure, but there's one allegation here that he dismissed traffic tickets after hearing a defendant's explanation outside the presence of prosecutors. In one instance, he cited a driver's professional appearance and explanation as reasons for dismissing a speeding charge.
You're dressed professionally. I'm just going to throw this one out. Thank you for being dressed professionally. Coming into this courtroom, I'm throwing out the case.
It reminds me when my mother said, listen, if you're going before such and such, you better put a tie on.
Yeah, that's
okay?
right.
They notice that stuff.
Yeah, well, listen, you think people coming in there in shorts, you come into my courtroom with shorts on? The hell do you think you're doing? Guilty. Double the fine. Okay, on the line right now is Dr. Abhishek Kumar, board-certified medical oncologist. Now, as I mentioned, in about 6 or 7 years ago, I had it was discovered that I had colon cancer and had to have colorectal resection surgery. And since then, it got everything. It turned out to be stage 1, not stage 2, and caught it early. Very, very, very important.
Yes, it
but what
is.
we're seeing today is younger people are getting colon cancer. What is going on? Is it the food we're eating? Is it chemicals? I don't know.
My unqualified opinion is all the processed food, but does this doctor have an answer?
Dr. Kumar, good morning. Thank you so much for coming on. And what do we know?
Good morning. Good morning, Bill. It's a pleasure to be here. So it's actually multifactorial in terms of what's causing the increased rate of colon cancer in younger adults. What's really changed is that colon cancer is no longer just considered a disease of older adults. We're seeing a steady rise in younger patients in their 30s and 40s. And the dangerous part is that they often feel reassured because they're quote unquote too young or have no family history.
Yeah.
The reality is that about 80% of the cases are sporadic. So the biggest risk factor right now isn't just genetics, it's false reassurance. But to go back to your point in regards to the causes of it, likely multifactorial. We're noticing increase in 2026 and in the decades prior of obesity. We're seeing more sedentary lifestyle. We're seeing changes in the gut microbiome, and then probably other causes too, which you haven't fully classified.
Yeah, it may not be. I mean, look at everything there is in the world. It may not be that. Well, it's the food you kids are eating today. Well, maybe that is it. But it could also be the fact that you're playing video games for a quarter of your life
Instead of running around playing freeze tag or whatever.
Yeah. So you're finding that, or we're finding that 80% of the cases are sporadic, meaning a clean family tree is not a shield. So there are some fallacies. That's one of them. I'm very surprised by that.
Yeah, a lot of people think that, well, nobody in my family ever had cancer. And then once they get it, they're completely shocked. And I deal with this every day, seeing new patients who say, well, nobody had this in my family, and say I never smoked cigarettes. How is it that I've got lung cancer? Or nobody in my family has got any history of colon cancer whatsoever. I live a healthy lifestyle. I don't eat those processed foods. And boom, now I have colon cancer. How did it come about? Unfortunately, it's kind of like a bad hand of cards. It just comes about sporadically.
And colon cancer is a real killer. It can be just a horrific disease, especially if you don't catch it early. You agree, Doc, that being tested properly, and we have another fallacy coming up, but being tested properly and catching it early can oftentimes really increase your chances of survival.
Absolutely, Bill. It's one of those things where if you do catch it early, oftentimes the colonoscopy can snare and remove potentially precancerous polyps or even cancerous polyps. And if you do catch an early, like a stage 1 or stage 2, or even a stage 3, you can go in there and surgically cut it out. In some cases, depending on the pathology results, you may need some chemotherapy, but that's it. And a lot of the times you can get rid of it altogether. And 5 years from that date, 10 years from that date, 20 years, 30 years, you can say, well, back in 2026, I had colon cancer, but now it's completely gone.
I'm certainly hopeful that is my story. And unfortunately, I have to say, 4 years after that, I discovered my white blood count was through the roof, and it was determined that I have chronic myeloid leukemia. Now,
sorry.
But you know what? The reality is, first time I had cancer, I caught it early at stage 1. Surgery, no chemo, no radiation. Second time, just a few years later, and I hope I'm ending this trend.
Yes.
If there's any cancer if you're going to get cancer and you're going to get leukemia, the one you probably want is CML because there's a medicine to regulate it. So that's where I'm at Roswell and Buffalo on a trial using a medicine. So catching it early, I think, is everything. So far, I'm very lucky, and I don't want to push my luck.
Doc, I want to throw a couple things at you, and if you could tell me whether you put any stock in this as being maybe some of the contributing factors of the increase in colon cancer in younger folks, or if this is like tin hat conspiracy stuff. And there's a couple I think that we hear about often. One of them is I'm always carrying my cell phone in my pants pocket or my jacket pocket. That's right next to kind of important parts of my body, the increased radiation. Do you put any stock in that?
There's no direct correlation, at least as far as we can tell. People have had cell phones now for decades. They're no longer a novel thing. And certainly being exposed to any sort of emitted radiation, or if you take airline pilots, they're higher up in the atmosphere, they're exposed to more solar radiation. In those cases, you do see an increased rate in certain types of cancers in commercial pilots and fighter pilots, et cetera. But in people carrying around little cell phones, I guess the final judgment is still pending. We can tell maybe after further decades of data. And then, of course, the technology for cell phones has increased, has changed as well. But there's no, to my knowledge, there's no clear evidence that cell phones are directly contributing to any malignancies.
I have one more.
Although have them right now, so.
One more for you. We hear this a lot about microplastics and all the food, some of the processed food that we eat, but it's transported. We use plastic now instead of glass, and there's chemicals and microplastics leaching into our food. Do you put any stock in that?
It's one of those things that's controversial. There's you could argue either way. Processed foods in general can be linked towards obesity, and obesity is a direct cause of cancer. Now, in terms of the storage containers, it's probably not the best thing for you to microwave your food inside a plastic storage container.
Right.
But that being said, it probably may not cause cancer either, but don't quote me on that.
Time will tell. This is National Cancer Control Month, April, and we mentioned some so the no family history. Don't fall into that trap. Just because you don't have a family history doesn't mean that you will not get colon cancer or other types of cancer. The stool test fallacy. I think this is very interesting because we watch commercials and see that little box running around saying you can do your business in the box and that's all you need. Is that accurate, and does that absolutely work?
That is part of a tool in the toolbox that doctors use, gastroenterologists use, to ascertain whether or not a colon cancer exists and to detect it. It's certainly a useful tool, something like Cologuard. You can use it to detect, fragments of cancer DNA that are floating around, but it's not the do-all, end-all. So in-home stool tests are screening tools, not diagnostic tools. If you have any warning signs or symptoms, a negative test doesn't mean that you're in the clear. You should certainly go and have it investigated and have a colonoscopy.
By the way, I was probably 8 years late getting my colonoscopy. Had I waited longer, it could have been very, very bad. But had I gotten my colonoscopy earlier, I never would have gone through that, most likely. So I've been told. The power of prevention. So I eat right, I exercise, my weight is down, I don't eat any of these things Manaski's talking about. All of my stuff is in containers that are not considered something that might be dangerous. So I'm not going to get cancer. I can be at ease. What do you think?
All those habits are exemplary, and everybody should eat right and exercise and primarily eat whole foods, kind of foods in their natural state rather than excessively processed foods. Occasionally, everybody can eat junk food and whatever else, but by and large, we should eat normal, healthy foods. But even if you do that, that is potentially dangerous if you think that because you're doing that, you're immune for having any different types of cancer. So if you do have any warning signs or symptoms, let's say if we're concerned about colon cancer, since we are talking about it, if you do all those things, live a healthy lifestyle, don't have any family history, and you notice that you're having blood in the stool when you wipe, or you're suddenly losing weight, or you go see your primary doctor and you're diagnosed with anemia, or you have any sort of weird aches and pains that don't go away, it is prudent to have it fully worked up and investigated, and not to believe that just because you're healthy and your percentage body fat is 15% and you eat right, that you are immune if you don't have any family history. Have it investigated. It could save your life.
All right, that's all really important stuff, and I wish I had you on about 8 years ago and listened to you. One other thing I wanted to ask, and then Jeff has a quickie. Do you think kids getting cancer, and oftentimes you hear stories, kids contract some sort of cancer, whether it be leukemia or whatever, and it always seems like, oh, it's stage 4, it's late stage, or do you think that's because it's that invincible problem where you don't think an 18-year-old or a 13-year-old is going to have cancer, so you see some symptoms, but you just kind of explain them away with, oh, it's growing pains, or talk about that a little bit. And I know it's anecdotal, but is there any truth to that?
Well, we classically don't think of younger people, kids, being susceptible to cancer, but unfortunately it does happen.
Yeah.
The good thing is a lot of childhood cancers are treatable and curable. It's potentially a long and painful process, but we should always keep our radar on, even for young people, for kids who have symptoms that aren't going away. Most of the time, it'll probably be something benign, but sometimes it can be something more serious. So it's imperative to try to catch these things early and to intervene as early as possible so we get the best results.
All right, one more.
And then, Doc, I'll just ask you this. We started with talking about colorectal cancer in younger patients. So can you give us, I know these recommendations change every so often. What's the latest recommendation on proper screenings for things like colon cancer? When do you start and how often do you get them after that?
Right. So until a few years ago, the screening age for younger people, or just in general, for people to start who didn't have a strong family history or any major risk factors, was 50 years. Then about 3 years ago, or about 2022, maybe 4 years ago, they changed the guidelines to reflect the recent trends. And now the recommendations are at the age of 45 for all comers to undergo a screening colonoscopy, even if you have no symptoms. But it comes with an important caveat. If you have any sort of strange signs or symptoms, like blood in the stool, which you should never, ever just attribute to hemorrhoids, or any sort of unusual weight loss, unusual fatigue, or anything else, or if you have a strong family history of colon cancer, then it needs to be investigated far more early on. You can't just say, well, I'm 37 and I'm having blood in my stool. I'm not due for a colonoscopy until 45. That doesn't work. That's dangerous.
Why is it that especially men, we look at, this is what I went through. It was just like, I dread hearing what they're going to say, so I'm going to put it off. I'll go next week, or I'll go the week after that. And all of a sudden, you're looking at 2 or 3 years that you just avoided it. Guys are notorious for that, which is why we do this Real Men Get Tested for cancer. Guys are, we like to procrastinate things away, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I can tell you, Bill, it's really shocking that, and I see this every week or every other week in my clinic, otherwise fully responsible citizens, men who have great jobs, they pay their taxes, upstanding community members, they kind of neglect their own health. They figure, okay, well, I'm busy with this, I got to take care of this, got to take care of this. If there's something wrong, I'm noticing some blood in the stool, I'm noticing some change in my bowels, it's probably nothing. You know what, I'm busy, then I'll make an appointment in a couple of months, then you forget about it, then a vacation, then work gets busy, et cetera, and it all gets kind of pushed to the back burner. And then 3 years later, that same person, their wife says, "Hey, it looks like you look kind of pale, or it looks like you're losing weight. Maybe you should get checked out." And then they finally go, and then they're of course stage 4, and they wonder what went wrong.
That is the biggest mistake of all. Is if you push it off, the treatment is so much more difficult. It's just something. You are out of Edison, New Jersey, in the New York City metro area. Also, Lieutenant Colonel in the U.S. Air Force Reserve.
Correct.
You were a flight surgeon, so that's got to be just, I can't imagine what you've seen, but we certainly thank you for your service.
Thank you.
This was good. This was helpful, Dr. Kumar. We appreciate it. Hopefully we can do it again.
Absolutely. Thank you, Bill.
Have a great day.
All right, you too.
That is Dr. Avishek Kumar. There's a Dr. Kumar up here, too. We have a couple of
Yes, I think over at Slocum, maybe. So,
well, of course, that's Smith. It's like Smith. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's like Johnson.
Yes, it is.
Thanks,
all right,
Doc.
Doc. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. You take care.
Have a great day.
So, we touched on this briefly, and I don't want to add to any hysteria. It's just what I think. We, as a society, I don't do a ton of this. Actually, I don't do any of this. But you get these containers now, like a to-go container at a restaurant, and it says, a plastic container.
You got to be careful with
microwave
those.
safe. Microwave safe.
Yeah, you taste the plastic.
I will never put plastic in the microwave and then eat something out of it.
Yeah.
It's like when sometimes you have a bottle of water, right? And you're out doing something in the yard, and then it sits in the sun for 2 hours, and you go take a swig of it. Not only is it hot, but it tastes like plastic. I again, not a doctor. This is not a qualified opinion. It's just my 2 cents.
Well, I will tell you that so you say to that, I mean, what are the chances? I mean, you drink something out of a bottle, plastic bottles, we have them all over the place. You heat up something in the microwave, and you feel a little, I mean, what are the chances? So, hold on one second. I'm telling you, I'm going to the doctor today and getting an inhaler or something. This is not going away. Nonetheless, which, by the way, is what they say if you read up on RSV, it can go on for a couple of months and linger. This is ridiculous. Damn it. Nonetheless, especially for what we do. Like, you don't want... anyway, where was it?
You were talking about... we were talking about the plastics and tasting the water and so on.
So so just to give you an idea... With the CML that I have, which is a form of leukemia, they believe that it is from exposure to a pesticide. That's where they believe I caught it. Now, I think about that, and I'm like, well, you're rolling around on the grass with your kids. Chances are you used one of the services to make your grass really green. Oh, mosquitoes. You got to be careful of mosquitoes. So every summer I was spraying like every other week. Just spraying as a kid. In high school, I worked as a groundskeeper during the summer, and it was my job to spray the pesticide on the roses. So I've had enough exposure to it. It doesn't take a lot, but they believe that is what caused it. So worrying about a plastic container that everything tastes like plastic, I would say get that out of your mouth and don't eat it.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be exposed to it. And you certainly don't want your kids exposed to it.
Another thing, and again, I don't want to cause any hysteria. Somebody we both know who was good at the 6-week diet. He could get off anything, and he would go to the gym religiously, and he'd eat healthy. But
who looks good right now?
We roomed together for a while, and sometimes I would come home, and he was doing his fitness thing, and he'd throw like a bag of microwave vegetables right in the plastic bag, throw it in the microwave, and I'm like, he's like, yeah, I'm eating healthy, and I'm like. My brain can't get over that being healthy or not.
Steam in the microwave, and I don't know why that's okay, but apparently it is. I don't like it. What's wrong with putting the broccoli in a pan, turning on the heat? That's the other thing. They're saying that the emissions that come from your gas stove also not good for you. Is there anything that's good for you?
Oh my goodness!
Is there anything? What was good for you is when you used to hang out the window. My age, this is my generation. While your father is saying, fill her up for $5.
Smell that lead.
And you're smelling in that lead gasoline. Now that was good for you.
Yeah. Well, I've
heard
everything
before.
Else,
not so good.
I haven't seen it yet. I guess I'll find out someday. But they claim life. You'll never get out alive.
that is unfortunately the truth. Jeff Bezos is. Can I keep going, Davey? Or do you want me to stop? Don't you point at me like that. What are you, stupid?
He's got your time up here.
The Red Sox are not playing the Mets. Are you stupid?
He was a little frustrated. That was a bad slip on my part, though. Obviously, the Mets are not in Boston to take on the Red Sox.
What, the split squad? They're playing in New York and Boston?
Look like a split squad.
They certainly do. I think that was your next comment, Davey, right? Might as well be the practice squad. Jeff Bezos, I'm not going to have time for this, but I will. Blue Origin launched a satellite into orbit, but wasn't able to get it into orbit correctly. So now it has to be deorbited. You know what that means? Something that is deorbited? I'm assuming they end up taking it out of orbit. That's what they're trying to do.
They're going to have to convince all of their customers, and that includes NASA, that their full system is operational.
Okay, and then take it out of orbit. We'll hear about that probably top of the hour with news. Come on.
Looking for a great real estate agent? Someone who can help you sell your home fast and for top dollar? Go to ready.com, REDY.com. Because on Ready, agents will pay you just for the opportunity to sell your home. Yeah, on Ready, agents will pay you for your listing. Thousands of dollars up front just for a chance to sell your home. And it's easy. Just go to ready.com, enter your address, and when you want to sell. In just 48 hours, the best local agents are competing on Ready to be your agent with cash offers up front just to win your business. Hey, your listing is valuable. Don't give it away. Make those agents earn it. Get paid to pick your real estate agent. Go to ready.com or call 888-525-REDY. 888-525-READY.
Warner Sales and Service. Building relationships, building trust.
This is Lynn from Warner Sales and Service. Mow like a pro with Hustler Turf Zero-Turn Mowers. Hustler mowers are designed to be maintenance and service friendly for the everyday homeowner while not sacrificing the build and cut quality they're known for. Come see us at Warner Sales and Service on the Greenway New London Road in Rome, and we'll guide you to the right mower for your property and your budget.
Lots of places can expose you to identity theft.
Oh no.
That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity, which is way more than anyone can do on their own. If we find anything suspicious, like new loans or changes to your financial accounts, we alert you right away, all through text, phone, email, or the LifeLock app. Get the alerts that could make all the difference. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at
WIBX Utica Road, W295 Utica.
From the WB Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
Vice President Vance will go, but will Iran? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That is the big question ahead of a potentially second round of talks in Pakistan before a 2-week ceasefire ends tomorrow night.
State media has indicated the Iranian delegation has not yet departed for the conversation. Iran's parliament speaker posted to X overnight saying Trump, by imposing a siege and violating the ceasefire, seeks to turn this negotiating table in his own imagination into a table of surrender or to justify renewed warmongering.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv.
The reality is that Iran has violated the ceasefire multiple times, specifically in the Strait of Hormuz, where only 16 vessels passed through on Monday. President Trump has indicated he's unlikely to extend this ceasefire.
The U.S. military still has a blockade on Iran's ports, turning away 27 ships intercepting and taking custody of one that would not stop. They're going to the polls now in Virginia with redistricting on the ballot ahead of the November elections that could flip some House seats from Republican to Democrat. President Trump just posted on Truth Social, vote no to save your country.
Voting for the constitutional amendment allowing for a one-time change to the congressional map began March 6th. Democrats said it was needed to counter what Republicans are doing in other states, namely Texas. The current map has 6 seats favoring Democrats. The new map would add 4 more, leaving Republicans with just 1 seat.
That's Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. There is a new vacancy in President Trump's cabinet with a 3rd departure this year.
Labor Secretary Lori Chavez DeRemer is leaving the administration to take a position in the private sector, a White House spokesman says, adding she has done done a phenomenal job in her role, but Chavez de Remer's term has been overshadowed at times by a series of misconduct investigations.
That's Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Later this morning, the president's nominee to lead the Federal Reserve, Kevin Warsh, will be questioned at a Senate confirmation hearing. He's in line to replace Fed Chairman Jerome Powell, whose term ends next month after a lot of Trump criticism for not cutting interest rates enough. America's listening to Fox News.
Shh, here she comes. Surprise! They sent a duplicate shipment to your flower shop. Now you have to pay for 1,000 extra carnations. Also, there's a beehive outside your store, and they're super aggressive.
There's thousands of them.
Progressive knows small business owners usually don't like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise, saving 13% on commercial auto insurance when you pay in full.
Also, the egg salad you just ate was expired.
Gross.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-809-7171. That's 800-809-7171.
There is still shock and sadness in Shreveport, Louisiana, after Sunday's mass shooting targeting kids.
This, by far, was probably one of the most challenging incidents that SPD has ever faced.
Shreveport Police Chief Wayne Smith. The gunman murdered 8 children, aged 3 to 11. All but one of them were his own kids. He also shot and badly injured their mother, his wife, and another woman. Their killer, Shamar Elkins, was shot and killed by police after a car chase. Yesterday, there was another mass shooting south of the border.
The gunman fired from an ancient pyramid at Teotihuacan, one of Mexico's most important historical sites. He hit and killed a 32-year-old Canadian woman. 6 Americans are among 13 people taken to hospitals for treatment. The shooter later dying from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. According to an eyewitness, the man was standing on a platform near the top of the Pyramid of the Moon when he began firing upwards. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum says there will be an investigation. She's posted on X to express her solidarity with the victims. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures are rising the day after modest losses. The Nasdaq dropped 64 points, snapping a 13-session streak of gains. A big change coming in a big tech company.
Apple CEO Tim Cook is stepping down from his role and will be executive chair of its board of directors. And John Ternus, Apple senior vice president of hardware engineering, will become the next chief executive effective September the 1st. Cook joined Apple back in 1998 and succeeded Steve Jobs at the helm in 2011, shortly before Jobs' death. Cook will continue in his role as CEO through the summer as he works closely with Ternus on a smooth transition. Hillary Barsky, Fox News.
In the NBA playoffs, Atlanta got even with New York. Minnesota also tied the series with Denver. Cleveland beat Toronto to go up 2-0. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
We have some sunshine, now up to 27 degrees. Good morning, I'm Jeff Manaski, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time, 7:05. This news update brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. Well, still no budget deal in place. We're now 3 weeks late. The state budget does not appear to be nearing a deal anytime soon. The legislature passing a 5th budget extender yesterday, which will keep the Empire State running through tomorrow. Governor Kathy Hochul says she's not going to back down on initiatives aimed at making life more affordable for New Yorkers, like helping lower auto insurance rates. The budget was supposed to be passed by April 1st. Meanwhile, the governor's Traffic Safety Committee and state police working together this week for the annual No Empty Chair campaign. The safety initiative runs through Friday, and the goal is to alert young drivers to highway dangers so there aren't any empty chairs during graduation season. State police will be doing enforcement details focusing on different safety risks each day, while also making sure other traffic laws are being followed. The campaign first launched in 2014. Tops Friendly Markets are participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day. The event is happening on Saturday. The supermarket chain says customers can anonymously discard their unused or expired medications in clearly marked bins. Prescriptions will be accepted at any pharmacy during regular business hours. Tops says proper disposal prevents misuse and protects the environment. New Hartford police charging a driver with aggravated DWI, allegedly going the wrong way on State Route 40. Police say the van continued to drive erratically, changing lanes without signaling and accelerating onto State Route 12 northbound before finally pulling over near the French Road exit ramp. Officers identified the driver as 24-year-old Devin Eaton of Staten Island. He faces several charges, including DWI, operating a motor vehicle with a blood alcohol content of 0.08 or more, aggravated DWI with a blood alcohol content of 0.18 or more, illegal signal, speeding, and no seatbelt for the driver. And the Oneida County Sheriff's Office responding to a reported domestic incident in the town of Marcy. It is alleged that 37-year-old Jonathan Morse had struck an adult victim in the back of the head in the presence of a 16-year-old child. Morse now facing 1 count of endangering the welfare of a child and 1 count of harassment. Child Protective Services were contacted on behalf of that child. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 7:08. Here's a look at your Weather Center forecast.
Boy, cold now, late April morning, and the clear sky. The cold weather will stick with us here until the sunshine starts to do its work on the atmosphere. Only to about 50 this afternoon. Probably going to see some more clouds come in later, too. Tonight, upper 30s, so we're milder. Adirondack still a little chillier. Partial sun tomorrow, up near 60. Thursday, beautiful day, sunshine. Highs will be in the low 60s. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic at the Weather Channel on WIBX, 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now, some sunshine, 27 degrees at 7:09. From the IBEW 43 local sports desk, I still can't get over this. Watching the Knicks choke away that game last night. They led by 13 in the second half. They allowed the Hawks to rally for a 107-106 win in regulation. The best-of-7 series now tied at 1 game apiece. Jalen Brunson had 29 points for the Knicks. To be honest, I think they would have benefited with more assists and fewer points from Brunson last night. Anyway, Game 3 of the series is coming up on Thursday in Atlanta. Elsewhere, the Cavaliers now up 2-0 over the Raptors. They took down Toronto 115-105 last night. And the T-Wolves pull even with the Nuggets. They beat Denver 119-114. Again, that best-of-7 series now tied at 1 game apiece. A familiar face working out with the New York Giants. Big Blue hosted free agent wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. for a workout and physical on Monday. No signing appears imminent for the 33-year-old who expressed a desire to play this season. Beckham met with Giants ownership and new head coach John Harbaugh back at the NFL's annual meetings to state his case. Some news out of Syracuse University, and it's not great as far as the basketball program goes. Donnie Freeman committing to St. John's. Smitty, if you could hop on here, because I know you're a big Syracuse fan, as we all are, but I think you're more knowledgeable than most of us. Freeman, one of the best players left in the transfer portal, a versatile 6'9" forward coming off an honorable mention all ACC season. He was a top 10 recruit in 2024. He averaged 13.5 points and almost 8 rebounds as a freshman, but part of his year was cut short last year because of a broken foot. But this is a loss because he was a good player.
Sure was, and I was tall and Bill during the break there, Jeff, while you were out. Stepped out of the studio. This is a big move for St. John's. Mike Rapalli, who is a big horse breeder, has a lot of commitments to St. John's and Patino. He probably dished up a lot of money, and now Donnie Freeman's going to be playing in the Big East, so smaller schools like St. John's, Seton Hall, Providence, Georgetown, UConn. He could be scoring 15 to 18 points a game if he stays healthy.
So we'll see how Syracuse reacts and how they replace that offense from the lineup.
Maybe a smaller school, but it's a basketball powerhouse.
Absolutely. And then finally in the NHL, 4 games last night. The Flyers beat the Penguins 3-0. They lead that series 2-0. The Hurricanes, a 3-2 winner over the Senators. It took 2 overtimes. Carolina now leads that series 2-0. The Stars and Wild tied at 1 game apiece. And the Oilers took game 1 against the Ducks by a final of 4-3. Some comments here. And
Sure.
I want to say good morning to Nick and Ja Wick on YouTube. Look, you guys are right. We're having this conversation that we had last hour about.
They zinged you.
Yeah, well.
Or were you zanged?
I don't know. I was zinged and zanged.
Yeah.
To answer his first question, yes, I have been doing baseball games, and it's been good so far. The weather's mostly cooperated. I think I've only had one rain out, where last spring I think I lost a dozen games due to rain.
Snowouts last year.
Yeah. Let's see. He says, Jeff, you won't put, Jeff, you'll smoke, but you won't eat from a microwave plastic bowl. LOL. That's a good point. Yeah, that's not a good thing for me. And I know it's funny to hear me harp on plastics and then at the same time be someone who has smoked for as long as I've smoked. It's terrible. You're absolutely right. I appreciate him calling me out.
My favorite are the, and how many times did you see this during COVID? It's like, I got to tell you, I will not put that COVID shot in my body. Right. I mean, you'll smoke. You'll put that poison in your system. I'm not talking about you in particular.
Well,
however,
it's fair, though.
Listen, when you're, I have never smoked, so I don't know what it's like to not be able to just quit. But I know that I did make a very big mistake when I was a child. I began eating food. And ever since I've been addicted to it, I cannot just put stuff down.
So, good morning to Ja and Nick. I agree. You're right. But look, for those who are smarter than I and never started smoking, I'm just throwing out other things that maybe would be helpful to avoid in order to stay healthy.
Right now, it's Steve Ponte. Actually, I have a couple of other comments. Brought to you by Steve Ponte Mazda and Ricky Z. Have you ever heard him play piano?
Yeah, he's
the
amazing.
The only thing he does better is take care of you when it comes to purchasing a vehicle. They do a tremendous job. And I don't just spread the word here. Like a good part of my family, all driving a Mazda from Steve Ponte Mazda. As they wind down their New Year, New Mazda sales event this month, they have 23 new 2025 Mazda CX-5s sitting right there waiting for you to check out. Take advantage of 1.9% APR financing on new 2025 Mazda CX-5s with 0.9% on turbo models. See Rick or Wyatt or Tom or anybody at the dealership for details. As Rick says, let's make your deal on a new Mazda, where it's always easy to do business. Steve Ponte Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville. Some other comments. Mike this morning, the good news is that Miola, this is the battle between Comptroller Frank Miola and Mayor Mike Galimi in the city of Utica. The good news is that Miola continued to use a Morehouse tchotchke pen to do the finances, because this was being done pen to paper before. The mayor wants the new comptroller to use software, computer. I would ask, why didn't you go to Bill Morehouse and say, hey, Bill, start using the computer. Stop with the pen and paper.
I think it's fair, yeah.
Pilots that fly international over the poles have to wear radiation badges. We were talking about how you can be come in contact with radiation, cancer causing, and Cologuard is now offering a product testing for a variety of cancers. I did not know that.
Interestingly, and I know this from speaking with. Actually, I'm sorry, I don't want to confuse heart disease and cancer. Here's one from Nagel, and this is a good one. I used to have people ask me all the time for organic beer. Alcohol is a poison. You want organic poison?
Yeah, that's right.
Arsenic is pretty cheap. That's a good point,
Well,
Nagel.
you are putting stuff in your body every day that you probably shouldn't. We'll talk to Dr. Hall about this coming up in a second. By the way, just a quickie. My wife is a huge Prince fan. He has a new album coming out today. Prince. And this, I kind of am. I don't know where.
Been dead for 5 years.
I don't know where I am on this, and because the estate is putting the album out, Prince was the pickiest person when it came to his music. So there is a lot of material out there that he just said, no, it's never to see the light of day. It's not good enough. I don't like it. And I think that might be some of the material that's being released, stuff that he wouldn't release when he was alive. So I don't know. Maybe it's really good and he's just overcritical. So the new album is called With This Tear. By the way, Prince plays all the instruments. It was recorded in 1991. You want to hear the release?
Yes, I do.
This is the new single from Prince.
And you wrote every day, writing about the things that we could do when your pain went away. But all that went away was you. With this deep.
Stop it. I don't like it. Don't put it out. You're never going to hear this. You'll never hear this song. Over my dead body will you hear this song. I'm putting it away in the vault.
So your relatives need a little cash infusion.
You know what they're saying? Listen, Prince fans will buy anything from Prince. I'm not sure I like that. I think he was right.
Yeah, that seems
Maybe I'll get used to it. Maybe I'll get used to it. I don't know. I don't seem to like it.
That's like a love ballad right there. So it seems like there's missing where there used to be like a little grind, a little friction, a little something in the beat, in the music.
Even the slow songs.
Offset it, from the typical
This almost seemed like something you'd see in a Disney movie or something.
Exactly.
The prince and the princess are running slow motion together.
Yes.
I don't know.
He gets the high notes, though, doesn't he?
He does.
It's way up there.
Doctor, is this AI Prince? No, it's the real Prince. It is the real Prince. And it's wherever you get your music these days. You can get that today. Quick break. Dr. Hall is next.
Hurt in a car? Call William Attar. 315-444-4444.
Get pumped for summer. Receive an instant rebate of up to $20,000 in clean heat ground source heat pump installation. Call City Suburban today, 315-853-3899, or online at citysuburban.com. That's citysuburban.com.
Hi, this is Sal and Sarah. I want you to meet some of our Inserif Flooring Outlet team.
Hi, I'm Jason.
Hi, I'm Alan.
Hi, I'm Fran.
We're some of Inserif's flooring specialists with over 200 years of flooring experience.
Hello, I'm Sam Rudolph, Inserif's store manager. I've been in the home improvement industry my whole life, and that's a lot of years.
Hi, this is Erica, Inserif's office manager. Did you know Inserif's will meet or beat any locally advertised price? And we offer 6 months interest-free financing.
Inserif offers the top name brands in floor covering, and nobody can beat our years of experience. We want to say how grateful we are for your continued business with Inserif.
See why more people buy from the big store, Inserif's Flooring Outlet.
Inserif's Flooring Outlet, we're your flooring superstar.
River Road, Marcy, and Inserif'sFlooringOutlet.com.
Little Falls Lumber has everything you need for home improvement season. They're fully stocked with secondary grade metal in all colors. Available in 12-foot lengths and affordable solutions for sheds, garages, and roof repairs. Tired of digging through warped boards at the big box stores? At Little Falls Lumber, you'll find only premium grade lumber, hand-selected for quality. They also carry roofing, siding, windows, doors, and much more. Visit Little Falls Lumber in Little Falls in Syracuse. Call 315-823-2470 or go to littlefallslumber.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-518-1409.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-518-1409. That's 800-518-1409.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hey, it's your radio buddy Jimmy Fallon, host of Fox Across America. We're talking politics, pop culture, and comedy, minus all the rage and finger pointing. It's real talk for real people who just want to laugh, think, maybe learn something along the way. So join the fun weekdays at noon right here on WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, Central New York's home for talk that's smart, honest, and just the right amount of crazy. Fox Across America with your main man, Jimmy Fallon.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
On the line right now is Dr. Kent Hall. Doc joins us every week so we can save copay. You know, that's $25, at least for me. I don't know what you pay for a copay. Doc, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good. Wonderful. And let's see. We did have a doctor on last hour talking about colon cancer and how it is, there are so many different fallacies out there, things that we believe, well, it's not in the family. I don't have to be tested. It can't be that. Or I did the box test, which is Cologuard, and it said negative, so I'm A-okay despite the symptoms. You really have to listen to your body, right?
Yeah, that's a really good point. You need to be aware of, and to your point, listen to your body. There are, tests are as good as they can get, and they are getting better, but nothing is 100%. And so, it's important that if you do take a test and the test is negative, that gives you some reassurance. But if you're still having symptoms, or if there are still other health issues going on, it's important to look beyond that. We sometimes get what's called tunnel vision, where we get focused on something.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is that if we're right, that's great. But if we're not right, then we're not looking, we're not drawing the circle a little bit larger and saying, well, what else could it be? Maybe it's not cancer, but maybe it's a chronic infection that needs to be taken care of, or, maybe it's something else. So it's important to as I've said many times, it's important to cast your net widely and then see what you haul in.
So I'm sorry. I just want to give an example, and I hope it's not boring for me to give my own examples, but I feel like I got a lot of crap going on. But in August, when I was out in Buffalo, they said my iron levels were low. So they gave me an iron infusion, and I moved on, which, by the way, peps you right up. You're fatigued because your blood levels are low. So I go back in December, same thing. It's back down again. So we got a transfusion or whatever. And I got that here. So the doctor there was like, listen, I want you to get a colonoscopy. I said, well, I've had a colonoscopy. And he said, I want you to get it again because you have a history, and I think there could be something. It could be an ulcer, it could be anything, but I feel like there might be some internal bleeding. So you excuse this stuff away, like I think it's the medicine I'm on because some of these medicines can cause anemia. And he said, not this one. This one isn't one of those. I don't think that's it. I think I think it could be some sort of internal bleeding. So the first thing you're thinking is, great, the colon cancer is back. So what did I say? It was 18 polyps, large bleeding polyps removed from my stomach and esophagus. So there was internal bleeding, Doc. But I think as humans, we try to excuse things away. It's probably this. It's probably hemorrhoids. We want to come up with an easy solution, but really the best thing to do is to just follow the recommendation of your doctor and get tested.
Yeah, that again, you're spot on with that, and that's and good for your doctor saying, not just sloughing it off to this is probably one of the medicines that you're on, or something, but saying, no, wait a minute, let's take a look at this. And honestly, if you have somebody who is losing blood, who is developing anemia, especially iron deficiency anemia, and there's no obvious reason for it, from that, then you start saying, okay, well, what are the likely causes? And the number one likely cause is blood loss. And the number one place to lose blood and not realize that you're losing blood is your GI tract. So
yeah, because you're really
exactly right.
You're digesting it, and you really don't see it. You don't end up really seeing it, right?
That's correct. It's basically it's basically protein, and it's coming back into your system, which is good, but unfortunately, it's chewing up your red blood cells. So.
By the way, the Dr. Scalar at Digestive Disease, awesome. And what was supposed to last about 10 minutes was well over an hour. And I got good news. He said there are several more, but they weren't bleeding. We'll get you back in November to get rid of those. So crazy. I don't know why that's forming in my stomach, but again, the precaution, the test, all of that stuff is so much easier than going through stage 2 or stage 3 or, God forbid, stage 4 cancer. Did you have something?
Well, I just wanted to ask the doctor's opinion. As I asked Dr. Kumar last hour there, I talked about a couple of things that I think previous generations didn't deal with. One being exposure to radiation from cell phones, the other being microplastics in our food. The other, the oncologists we talked to kind of dismissed those as we don't have enough study on that. So the first part of my question is, do you have any thoughts, concerns about things like I always carry my cell phone in my pocket, or it's always right next to my stomach because it's in my jacket, or things like microplastics in food because so much of the food we consume is at least transported in plastic?
Yeah. So regarding cell phones and radiation, there's been a lot of concern about that. There hasn't been anything that it's been definitive saying, oh, there has been an increase in, cancer that would be directly related to radiation exposure to that particular area of the body, whether it's, depending upon where you carry your cell phone or, stuff. So that is that. And we've had cell phones now for 10 plus years. So it's not a huge amount of time, but it is enough time that you would expect to start to see something. So that is maybe good, but the jury is still out on it. When it comes to microplastics, again, that is also something that is just now being studied. And the good news is that the early studies are not showing a lot of issues related to, causing cancer and things, but there are health-related issues. Plastics and microplastics that get into your body do cause an inflammatory response, and an inflammatory response can lead to things like heart disease and strokes and things like that, so you have to be aware of that. Again, very early, not a lot of data on it, but it is something that we need to be aware of. And what I would say is, to your prior point about, heating up food in plastics and stuff, I would recommend not doing that. It's not that there's data that shows that it's bad. It's just that, that relatively speaking, that's one thing that you can decrease your exposure to something that could be bad, even though we don't have that data yet.
Gotcha.
If I can, another one here is, what is up with this RSV? I have
been 3 weeks for you or a month?
It's been a month. And Doc, I have a friend. We went out to dinner with this person, and she was coughing and thought it was allergies. That was Saturday. By Monday, I got a message that said, hey, just to let you guys know, I tested positive for RSV. She said it was horrible. And her cough lingered on for like this. It just lingers on and doesn't go away. And you're constantly causing this this phlegm in your air passageway. How do you get rid of this? This is just brutal.
So you're right. It is brutal, and you're also right. It does last a long time, and unfortunately, there is nothing that we can give that's going to take it away. This is your body healing itself from the infection. So the infection itself is actually, by this point in time, is no longer there. So the virus is no longer, active within your body. What is going on now is your body healing itself, and it's the chronic inflammation of your airways that causes the coughing, and it causes the increased mucus production, and the cough is basically just clearing that mucus out. And while you're not going to want to hear this, 8 to 12 weeks is
unbelievable.
Is probably about average. Now it gets gradually better during that time, but I wouldn't be surprised if a month from now we're having a similar conversation.
Wow. Well, I will say that it was better over the weekend, and then Monday and today came, and it seems to be worse. So it is. We're used to, okay, you get your medicine, you get over it, it's done. With viruses like this thing lingers on. It's very annoying.
Doc, I apologize. This might be a little vague. Easy and Alien says, "Good morning, Dr. Hall. Is there something going around that causes headaches, body aches, and fever, yet you test negative for everything? It lasted for about 36 to 48 hours." I know that's kind of vague, but...
So it is, and what I would say is that it is most likely a virus. It is most likely a virus that we do not have a particular test for. So that's the downside. The upside is that it is relatively short-lived, as many viruses are. They give you kind of this bolus of just not feeling well, but after 1 to 3 days, you start to feel better, which is thankfully that most people's immune systems can actually fight those things off well. So, but that's the most likely diagnosis for it. The exact virus that is causing it, I can't say based on that, but it may very well be that it's just a respiratory virus which is kind of going around.
Mike says one of the potential big problems with microplastics is in the water system. That is definitely an issue. Tom in New Hartford has a question. Tom, you're on with Dr. Hall. Good morning.
Good morning. I just had I had the MVHS prostate examination, which is a very thorough digital examination, and I don't mean like 0.005. I mean with the finger and the prostate, and there's a multiple set of tests that are involved, and they detected occult blood in my stool. So I dashed off and grabbed a hold of Dr. Sklar's office, and they scheduled me in for a colonoscopy. It was a three-year wait since my last one, and Dr. Sklar went in and determined that there was no cancer involved. And I have been taking blood thinners, and from time to time, I think I overthinned it, and so we pulled back just a little bit on the blood thinner, and he said no cancer. So I just recommend anybody any guy, especially if you've had anybody in your family who has had a history of colorectal cancer. My grandmother died of it, my maternal grandmother. And get on that. You're advertising it on WIBX right now. Sign up for that prostate screening and save your life.
All right, Tom. Glad to hear your news was good.
All is well. Thank you. I'm glad you're sailing along too. Bye bye. Now get rid of that other.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Bugging you.
Working on it.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Tom. All right, Doc. Anything else you can add to all of this? It really is listen to your body, I think, right?
Yeah, it is that. Listen to your body, and we men tend to downplay things for, I guess it's part of our XY chromosomes. But the bottom line is that if you listen to your body and if something is not as it usually is, then you need to go and try and figure out what's going on there. Yeah. That's the most important thing.
All right. Dr. Hall, as always, we appreciate it. Thanks. Have a great rest of the week.
Thank you, Doc.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Please be safe.
And you do the same. All right, coming up, I'm going to ask you a quick update. Then we're going to do Hobica's Free Money Question of the Day, which today, Davey, could get you Jim Brewer tickets, comedian Jim Brewer, at the Stanley Theater coming up on Saturday. What are we? You'll have a each contestant this week during the free money contest gets added into a drawing. Friday we'll draw for one pair, and maybe it's you today. Davey, what are we looking at today?
150.
100. It was more yesterday.
It was 150. Let's do 150 again.
No, it was 160 yesterday.
No, it wasn't. It was 150 yesterday. Let's stick with 150.
Okay.
Unless you want to change.
No, stay firm, Smitty.
A little pissy today.
Yeah, I was going to say.
All right, Davey.
Not
Yes,
backing down.
Davey. All right, whatever you say.
Looking for an argument.
And Jim Brewer tickets on the line.
It's 150, Bill.
Jim Brewer tickets on the line also coming up at WIBX.
At Excellus Blue Cross Blue Shield, we are dedicated to helping you understand your benefits and how to use them. It's one of the reasons why, for the third straight year, we have been named #1 in customer satisfaction among Medicare Advantage plans in New York and #1 for ease of doing business by J.D. Power. We were named most trusted, too. We remain committed to giving you high-quality coverage and the best possible Medicare experience. Learn more at medicare.excellusbcbs.com. For J.D. Power 2025 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Utica and the Mohawk Valley, do not overpay for your next mattress. Mattress Express is upstate New York's largest specialty bedding retailer. Take advantage of our guaranteed lowest price program. Bring in any locally advertised price or quote on a brand we carry. We will beat the price. Furthermore, if within 90 days of purchase you see that mattress advertised for less, bring it to our attention. We will refund the difference. Selection, no one in New York State has all these brands under one roof except Mattress Express. Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, Sealy, Purple, Puffy, the Smart Bed by Instant Comfort, Posh & Lavish, Therapeutic, Simmons Beauty Rest Black, Serta, iComfort, Avocado, and more. On New Hartford and Commercial Drive next to Pet Supplies Plus. In Oneida and the Glenwood Plaza by the movie theaters. And Rome on Black River Boulevard. Open 7 days a week. Go to mattressexpressny.com. Call 1-800-NEW-BEDS.
Megan, why is there a guy outside yelling, "This is not a drill," about the Seltos?
Because of the 2026 Kia Seltos LX all-wheel drive lease deal.
The one with 0 due in inception?
Yes.
And just $368 a month for 36 months?
Still yes.
Okay, what pushed them over the edge?
Even sales tax included.
That'll do it. I just saw someone high-five a mailbox.
People get excited.
All-wheel drive and 0 surprises. Society may never recover.
Or they'll just drive home happy.
It's no wonder with the #1 volume Kia dealer from Maine to Maryland.
Go cookie for Kia at Destination Kia. Puppies and babies not included.
Stock number 26E1746. MSRP $26,885. 36 months. 30,000-mile lease. 20 cents per mile over. 0 due in inception. 0 security deposit. 8.75% sales tax and $650 acquisition fee included in payment structure. 720 plus FICO score. Offer expires 4/30/26.
Destination Kia.
Something old is new in the village of New Hartford. Introducing Handshake Antiques, now open at 66 Genesee Street, next to Giorgio's Village Cafe. Not your grandma's antique shop. Think clean, curated, and cool. From high-end furniture, vintage fashion, vinyl records, to oddities and all things eclectic. And we're always buying, so look in your attic or basement. And if it's old, call Handshake Antiques. Plus, inventory changes weekly, so every visit is a new find. Handshake Antiques, where it never went out of style.
Sunshine, 27 degrees. Good morning. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time 740. This update brought to you by Clinton Tractor, the leader in service. Visit clintontractor.net. Vice President J.D. Vance is expected to travel to Pakistan today to resume potential peace talks with Iran. It remains, though, to be seen whether a delegation from Iran will also show up. President Trump has threatened to knock out Iran's power plants and bridges if no deal is reached, as the ceasefire between the two countries is set to expire Wednesday. The confirmation process begins today for President Trump's pick to replace Jerome Powell at the Fed Reserve. When Kevin Warsh goes before the Senate Banking Committee, Democrat Elizabeth Warren says she'll question him about his $100 million net worth, his independence from President Trump, and his mention in the Jeffrey Epstein files. Louisiana's First Lady, Sharon Landry's foundation, Love One Louisiana, will pay for the funeral expenses of the victims in Sunday's mass shooting in Shreveport. Governor Jeff Landry made the announcement Monday while visiting Shreveport to address the tragedy. The coroner's office says 7 of the 8 victims killed are the children of the shooter, Shamar Elkins. He was shot and killed by police after a brief chase. A grandson of late New York City mob boss John Gotti, going to prison himself, caught up in a COVID-19 loan scheme. Carmine Agnello was sentenced to 15 months behind bars Monday after he pleaded guilty to wire fraud. 2 more of Kanye West's planned concerts in Europe have been canceled, driving the total now up to 4. The rapper, who also goes by the name Ye, had shows canceled in June in both Switzerland and Poland. The first concert was scrapped after what was described as a thorough review, while organizers of the second event said it won't happen due to formal and legal reasons. Poland's culture minister is on the record as saying West's promotion of Nazism is in direct contradiction with the values of a country that was, quote, marked by the history of the Holocaust, end quote. And Bill, Walt Disney World is raising ticket prices. The Florida theme park rolled out its pricing through October 2027. The most expensive one-day ticket will cost $219 per person. That'll be on President's Day weekend. Peak ticket prices this year reached $209 out west. Disneyland's peak ticket is now $224.
Yeah, it's crazy. Because you want is the hopper, right? Where you can go any of the parks and you're there for a week. Costs you a lot of money for a family of 4.
I mean, keep in mind, if you're in the range of $200+ and say you have a family of 5, that's $1,000 a day just to go to the theme park.
Yeah,
you're pricing people out.
Luckily, the food is cheap.
Yeah. One more, by the way. Does it surprise you that peak is considered the peak day is considered President's Day weekend? I guess that's February break, right? Where a lot of people from the north go south.
They all want to get out of Dodge.
It just surprised me that that's the peak time.
And you know
February.
what? Let me tell you something. It's one of the worst times to go because you might get 25 degrees, 30 degrees, 35 degrees in Florida, in Orlando.
That's true. Here's a look at your Weather Center forecast.
Boy, cold now, late April morning, and the clear sky, the cold weather will stick with us here until the sunshine starts to do its work on the atmosphere. Only to about 50 this afternoon. Probably going to see some more clouds come in later, too. Tonight, upper 30s, so we're milder. Adirondack still a little chillier. Partial sun tomorrow, up near 60. Thursday, beautiful day, sunshine. Highs will be in the low 60s. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajek at the Weather Channel on WIBX, 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Sunshine, a chilly 27 degrees at 7:44.
All right, it's time for Habaika's free money question of the day. It's worth $150. Plus, if you compete, you'll be in a drawing for a pair of Jim Brewer tickets. Jim Brewer, the comedian.
Jimmy Brewer.
Jimmy Brewer, my man. Jim Brewer is at the Stanley Theater. Get your tickets by going to Ticketmaster or the Stanley box office. It's a Sunday night show, and we have a pair of tickets included here. And it's one pair. You'll be in the drawing, a 1 in 5 chance at winning on Friday. So, Davey, you're looking for caller number, what do you want to go with for $150?
Caller 4.
Caller 4, $150 in Brewer tickets on the line to WIBX right now.
Hurt in a car? Call William Attar. 315-444-4444.
Don't rely on a standard off-the-shelf security system. When it comes to protecting your home, there's a big difference between plug and play and a professionally designed system. At CML Security, security is personal. Their skilled technicians meet with you one-on-one, walk your property, and design a custom system built around your family's needs. From security cameras, intrusion systems, and smart home features, they can also add a level of fire protection to their intrusion systems. They install commercial-grade equipment and provide a warranty on systems that they install. Call CML Security at 315-866-5845 today to schedule your in-home consultation. That's 315-866-5845 or visit cmlsecurity.net. Based in Herkimer, they serve the central New York area. CML Security. Call 315-866-5845. Personalized protection your family can trust.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter.
The Potting Shed Antiques in Whitesboro is buying silver, gold-filled, vintage costume, estate jewelry, and U.S. and Canadian coins. They've been your hometown buyer for over 50 years. While other gold and silver buyers claim to offer the highest prices, the Potting Shed Antiques actually delivers. Let Don Hartman take a look at your individual pieces or your entire collection. The Potting Shed Antiques, open Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Please call ahead for an appointment. Visit thepottingshedantiques.com.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, listen, we have $150 on the line and maybe a pair of Jim Brewer tickets. Jim Brewer is coming to the Stanley Theater. One of the funniest shows, Manaski describes it, is he laughed so hard it was painful in a good way.
The muscles in my face were locking up. I was laughing so hard.
The contest comes every day to you from the Hobeika Law Firm, Joseph and Andrew Hobeika, at 315-724-1600 for all of your legal needs. Wayne is our contestant this morning. Good morning, Wayne.
Again.
Wayne.
Well, you got your listeners, Jeff. That's all I could tell you is an excuse. I mean, I work and I listen to you guys and I take care of my son, and that's my life.
And you dial.
And he dials in.
You're a dialer. You're a dialer. I do think this is a good one for you. Are you ready? This is for $150, $150, and the potential of winning in the drawing on Friday. A 1 in 5 chance at winning Jim Brewer tickets. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Now, just get your answer. You know the deal. You have 7 seconds. Get your answer in. If you get it wrong, you're still in the running for the Jim Brewer tickets. Okay? Here is your question. You'll have 7 seconds to answer. You know, the Hershey bar is a rectangle. Reese's Peanut Butter Cup is round. Which candy bar is a truncated pyramid scored into squares? Ready, go.
Oh, what is that? I can't remember the name of that. Score?
What did he say?
Which is the trunk? Which is the trunk score? No,
it's an oddball one.
Which is the trunk? Which is the candy bar that is trunk? Bring her right in, Davey.
Which is candy bar, isn't it?
Well, you can still get them. Truncated pyramid scored into squares. What if I say? It features milk chocolate, peanuts, and raisins.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Chunky bar, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
I don't think I've ever had one.
Do they still make them?
They do. I just bought them for my kids at Easter.
I don't think I've ever had one.
Along with Nora's candy from Rome.
But is that just in a chunk, or is it actually in a candy bar also?
What do you mean? It is the candy bar.
It is a candy bar.
Here's the question. Here's the question.
Okay.
Is it in just a square, or do they have it in a square and also in a candy bar? Like they have miniature Hershey's, but then they have
no. You can't. You can get larger. I don't know what the hell you're talking about, Wayne. I'm lost. You can get larger chunky bars. Some are kind of but what it is it's kind of pyramid like. And then it's scored into squares so you can break off squares. So it may be rectangular. It may be a big square. Usually it's like a large square. the chunky bar.
I never caught on to that, but I don't even know if I've even had one of them before.
Well, you ought to get one today. Most stores have them.
The chocolate itself is good, though. The chocolate itself in it is good.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's pretty good.
That's what usually turns me off is that they have these things, but then the chocolate's not so good.
I can't imagine you being turned off by that.
Yeah,
I mean, it's good. It's good. I'm just saying.
Okay.
All right, you stand by. You're in the running for
Thank
Jim
you guys. Have a good
Brewer
day.
on
good one,
Sunday at the Stanley Theater. In studio right now is Kaylee Buller. Do I say that right, Kaylee?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
And Kaylee, you are running in the 22nd Congressional District against John Mannion, and you're running as a Republican.
Yes, sir.
All right. So tell us why you feel that that you need to be the person to replace John Mannion.
Well, good morning, and thank you so much for having me. It's great to be on with you all here in person. I know we've done this before on the phone, but I'd much rather be here with you and your listeners. So I grew up in Auburn, born and raised, went to high school there, and, was a high achiever, captain my lacrosse team, captain my field hockey team, honor roll, and I went away to college, Syracuse University, and couldn't afford it for a year. And so I just paid my Syracuse loans off last year, ultimately graduated from University at Buffalo. There were no jobs in Central New York when I graduated college. And so I moved away to D.C. and did that and made a career for myself out in D.C. And I've always watched, obviously, the New York 22 seat. My whole family is still in Auburn and around the district. And when John Mannion got elected, I had a lot of hope. And, he talked about bipartisanship and affordability, and he has failed our district. He is too radical for our district. He's actually to the left of Kathy Hochul. He just votes no on everything, and he doesn't come to the table. I mean, he voted no on no tax on tips. He voted no on no tax on overtime. He voted no on no tax on Social Security. He voted no on the child care tax credit. He voted no on the farm bill in committee. This is a very farm-heavy district, and so he's not serving the district well. I actually talked to the chairman of the Ag Committee yesterday because I know him well. I've been in the ag industry for over a decade. And I'm like, hey, how's it going? And he said he hasn't even talked to John Mannion. It's like you voted no on a bill, but you're not going to talk to the Ag Committee chairman about Ag Committee things that you want to change. So I'm here because I want to actually roll my sleeves up and bring real solutions to the table. I want to help the place that I grew up. And I have a real results-driven career. I'm 37. I have 3 kids. I'm a working mom. I have a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, a 2-year-old. And being able to do what I've done in my career, I resigned as the chief of staff from a cabinet secretary to come run in this. I mean, I oversaw 100,000 people, $200 billion. I was the architect of the food pyramid that is going to be in every single school. I helped lower egg prices. So consumers right now can go to the store, and when they see their egg price so low, it's because I had a hand in creating that strategy. So I think that...
So you're the person we should thank.
You
for
should.
For the low egg prices.
Absolutely, yes.
All right, could you get working on the gas?
Hey, I'm glad you brought that up.
Some steak. I'd like to be able to lower the price of steak. As for your claims on John Mannion's no votes, I can't verify any of that, but we will.
Absolutely, please do.
But a quick question on that: the tips, the overtime, and the Social Security. That was all one vote, right? That was all a big, beautiful bill. So that was together.
It was a big right.
All right. So
I'm not surprised he voted against
in the
big,
farm
beautiful
bill, which the majority of our counties are. This is Oneida, this is Madison, this is Cortland.
Was it in the big beautiful bill?
No.
No, that was so
Separate.
he voted against that.
Correct.
We'll ask him about that.
Can you talk about? You mentioned the egg prices. So do you deserve part of the blame when the eggs went up? How did they go up, and how did you get them back down?
That's great. So I came into the role on January 28th, 2025, and we had historically high egg prices. And frankly, it wasn't anyone's fault. I mean, yes, Biden was in. Yes, he could have done more. But basically what happened was the bird flu, which is what caused a lot of the chickens, the egg layers to get the flu. You have to essentially depopulate these chickens, and they die very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a very small amount
Can you
of
get
egg
tight
layers.
on that, Mike? I'm
Oh,
sorry.
sure.
Yeah.
We had a very small amount of egg layers. So when I came in, the number one issue we were hearing about from consumers is why are egg prices so high? So I crafted a 5-pronged strategy with the Secretary of Agriculture to, increase imports into the country, limit exports, deregulate some of these issues like line speeds for chickens, all those issues feed into the supply chain, trying to solve the bird flu. And so that's vaccines, therapeutics. So we put in a bunch of research for that. We increased the money in which egg layers were getting to repopulate their chickens quicker. So we effectively brought more chickens in so we could quickly have more eggs. So that was the whole point, is like you have to kind of pull on 5 different prongs. If you did one of them, it wouldn't have worked. But because we looked at it very thoughtfully, and some of the things we did weren't the most popular. Like the egg industry didn't love that we were bringing in eggs or that we were like slowing down imports, but we're like, this is what we have to do. So, we did a similar situation with beef. You're going to start to see beef prices have started to come down slightly, but we have a similar challenge in the beef industry.
Yes.
It's separate, but apart.
We've talked to some local farmers about this.
Yeah.
They say they don't expect it to go away anytime soon.
Oh, there's no way that beef prices will come down like egg prices. It's
Right.
not possible because the cycle of cattle is so much longer
Yeah,
than a
it's
cycle
years,
of
right?
an egg layer. Correct.
Yeah.
So we're at the bottom of a cycle. So we're on our way back up, but we have the lowest amount of cattle head in decades.
Yeah. And so these are things that you played a major role in.
Yep.
In changing.
Absolutely.
Where do you stand on what other big issues do you, if you're elected to the 22nd, what other big issues are important for you that need to be implemented that John Mannion is not?
Well, the number one thing I'll do is work on comprehensive immigration reform. I mean, everyone understands that the current immigration system we have right now is broken. I've been working on immigration reform for over a decade, both in private industry and within the government. I understand the problems that, our businesses are facing and our H-2A laborers. I was just with a bunch of vegetable and fruit farmers yesterday, and, they are in the H-2A farm program, but it's not a perfect program. And the current laws on the books have been there for a long time, and that's what the administration is enforcing. Congress has to act to fix our immigration system.
Don't you think this goes back administrations?
Yes.
Way back.
Oh my gosh, yes.
This is but it seems like neither side wants to fix it because
you can't fundraise off it if it's fixed.
You can't fundraise off it if it's fixed. In fact, there was a deal on the table that both Republicans and Democrats agreed on that was going to move forward, and President Trump told Republicans not to vote for it because that would take that issue away. Both parties are guilty of this. How do you fix that?
So I don't necessarily. I don't think it's the case that people don't want to fix it. I think there's a couple hot topics in there that everyone gets hung up on, and they message the view that they.
But they had a deal. Both Republicans and Democrats had a deal in place that would have improved it. Well, I don't know how you couldn't be. It was big news leading up to the election, and it was
before Trump was elected.
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
The end of the Biden administration. And the
But
reports
Trump wasn't the president then.
But he had an influence over Republicans and said, "Don't fix this. We'll fix it when I get in office."
It's a win for the Democrats.
Yes.
Don't give them that win.
It will be a win for the Democrats. Look it up.
But I thought you were saying in the Trump administration. I mean,
no. I'm saying
so under President Biden, there was an immigration package that he did not sign because you're saying Republicans didn't vote for it because the president.
No, the Republicans killed it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Because it would have killed the issue.
But the president wasn't the president then. It was Biden that was the president.
So Trump didn't do that?
I have to look into all of it, but he wasn't the president. So
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He is the leader of the party. I mean, except a loss when there is one.
So
now
that the president's in, John Mannion has done nothing to put a comprehensive immigration bill. He's complained about the president, but he has done nothing to resurrect the immigration bill.
Stand by. I got a break. We'll hit you on the other side.
Yep.
WIBX Utica Road, W295 Utica. From the WB Tate Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
Vote no to save your country. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what President Trump is telling Virginians in a Truth Social post as they vote there today with redistricting on the ballot ahead of the November elections. Congressman John McGuire tells Fox.
4 Republican congressional seats are at stake today, so I'm asking everyone to vote no. This is an unconstitutional, illegal power grab.
Democrats say it's necessary for Virginia to join California, countering Republican redistricting in Texas and other states.
Democrats currently hold a 6-5 edge in the state's congressional delegation. So
with these redrawn districts, Democrats could turn that into a 10-to-1 advantage. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries urged voters yesterday to vote yes if they want a change in America.
That's Fox's Alex Hogan. The day before the 2-week ceasefire with Iran ends, with a Trump threat to resume bombing looming, it's not clear if there will be new talks in Islamabad, where Fox's Matt Finn reports.
The U.S. delegation led by the vice president has not publicly confirmed its anticipated travel here to Pakistan. This is really an hour-by-hour situation. The United States seems to be all systems go, but state media associated with the Iranian regime has been reporting that Iran has not confirmed that it's sending a delegation here to Islamabad.
Iran is angry the U.S. military blockade continues around their ports in the Strait of Hormuz, with a cargo ship intercepted Sunday. And the War Department just posted a short time ago on X, the U.S. has also taken control of a sanctioned tanker in the Indo-Pacific, adding they'll pursue vessels supporting Iran anywhere. A sheriff's deputy in bad shape in the South Carolina hospital with life-threatening injuries the morning after being shot at a traffic stop in Anderson County. Sheriff Chad McBride says.
The other deputy returned fire, and that's kind of where we're at now. The suspect is dead.
6 Americans among 13 people hospitalized in Mexico the day after a mass shooting at an ancient pyramid site. A Canadian tourist was killed. The gunman shot and killed himself. America's listening to Fox News.
Shh, here she comes. Surprise! They sent a duplicate shipment to your flower shop. Now you have to pay for 1,000 extra carnations. Also, there's a beehive outside your store, and they're super aggressive. There's thousands of them.
Progressive knows small business owners usually don't like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise, saving 13% on commercial auto insurance when you pay in full.
Also, the egg salad you just ate was expired. Gross.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-809-7171. That's 800-809-7171.
President Trump needs a new labor secretary after Lori Chavez DeRemer announced she's leaving, the third cabinet member to go this year.
The president did not announce her departure, unlike when Pam Bondi left as AG or Kristi Noem departed DHS. And also, Chavez DeRemer is headed to the private sector, not another administration job, according to Stephen Chung, the communications director here at the White House, who made the announcement. This all comes as the Labor Department Inspector General is nearing the end of a months-long investigation into misconduct allegations.
That's Fox's Jackie Heinrich. In 2 hours, the Senate will give a Trump nominee a job interview at a confirmation hearing.
President Trump tapped Kevin Warsh for Federal Reserve Chairman in January, describing the former member of the Fed and White House economic advisor as the perfect candidate, who, according to his opening statement today, obtained by Fox Business, will tell the Senate Banking Committee that inflation is a choice that's caused grievous harm to Americans, positioning himself as a reformer and signaling a reset in how the Fed operates. If confirmed, Warsh will replace Jerome Powell, who the president has been critical of and whose tenure expires next month. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stocks could rebound. Dow futures up about 300 points the day after modest losses that snapped the Nasdaq's 13-session streak of gains, dropping it from its record high. In the NBA playoffs, the Minnesota Timberwolves beat Denver 119-114.
First loss for the Nuggets since March 18th. They had won 13 games in a row. Series goes to Minneapolis for Game 3 Thursday. At Madison Square Garden, the Hawks beat the Knicks by 1 point, 107-106. Atlanta even the best-of-7 series at a game apiece. Game 3 Thursday in the Peach State. In the Buckeye State Monday, the Cleveland Cavaliers won up 2-0 on the Toronto Raptors with a 115-105 victory.
That's Jared Max. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Sunshine, 28 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time 8:05. This news update brought to you by Destination Kia of Utica on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. Still no state budget deal. It's now 3 weeks late and does not appear there will be a deal anytime soon. The state legislature passing a 5th budget extender yesterday, which will keep the Empire State running through tomorrow. Governor Kathy Hochul says she won't back down on initiatives aimed at making life more affordable for everyday New Yorkers, like helping lower auto insurance rates. The budget was supposed to be passed by April 1st. The Governor's Traffic Safety Committee and State Police working together this week for the annual No Empty Chair campaign. The safety initiative runs through Friday. The goal is to alert young drivers to highway dangers so there aren't any empty chairs during the graduation season. State Police will be doing enforcement details focusing on different safety risks each day, while also making sure other traffic laws are being followed. The campaign first launched back in 2014. Tops Friendly Markets across the region participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day. The event will happen on Saturday. The supermarket chain says customers can anonymously discard their unused or expired medications in clearly marked bins. Prescriptions will be accepted at any pharmacy during regular business hours. Tops says proper disposal prevents misuse and protects the environment. A popular game show making its return to Central New York later this year. The Price is Right Live will happen on Monday, October 26th at the Stanley, of course, in downtown Utica. Fans will get a chance to come on down, take their shot at winning some classic games and prizes like new appliances, cash, and even a new car.
Oh, that's
my audition,
right,
to see if I can get on there.
Yeah.
Seats are on sale now and can be purchased at the box office or by visiting the Stanley's website. A Staten Island driver facing an aggravated DWI charge after an incident on State Route 40. New Hartford police DWI enforcement officers stopped a dark-colored van around 1 o'clock Monday after seeing it enter the eastbound traffic lane on Middle Settlement Road without signaling and speeding well above the posted limit. Ultimately, that driver was pulled over. He's identified as 24-year-old Devin Eaton from Staten Island, now facing charges of DWI, operating a motor vehicle with a blood alcohol content of 0.08 or more, aggravated DWI with a blood alcohol content of 0.18 or more, illegal signal, speeding, and no seatbelt. Eaton was processed by New Hartford police and then released. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time is 8:08. Your Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Clinton Tractor, the leader in service. Visit clintontractor.net.
Boy, cold now, late April morning, and the clear sky. The cold weather will stick with us here until the sunshine starts to do its work on the atmosphere. Only to about 50 this afternoon. Probably going to see some more clouds come in later, too. Tonight, upper 30s, so we're milder. Adirondack still a little chillier. Partial sun tomorrow, up near 60. Thursday, beautiful day, sunshine. Highs will be in the low 60s. I'm meteorologist Ray Stachik at the Weather Channel on WIBX, 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Sunshine, 28 degrees at 8:09. All right, from the IBEW 43 local sports desk, still in shock here as the Knicks choked one away last night. They lose to the Hawks at MSG, the final 107-106. That best-of-7 series now tied at one game apiece. Elsewhere in the NBA, the Cavaliers now up 2-0 on Toronto after a 115-105 victory at home. And the T-Wolves evened up with the Nuggets 1-1 after Minnesota outscored Denver 119-114 last night out west. The Stanley Cup playoffs continued. Several teams in action last night. The Flyers took down both games in Pittsburgh. They now lead the Penguins 2-0 in that series. The Hurricanes also leading their best-of-7 first-round series by 2 games after they beat the Senators 3-2 in double overtime. The Stars beat the Wild 4-2, and the Oilers leading their series against the Ducks with a 4-3 victory in what was last night, Game 1. Mets and Yankees were both off Monday. The Yankees will be in Boston to take on the Sox coming up later today at Fenway Park. The start of a 3-game series. The Mets are home hosting the Minnesota Twins for the start of a 3-game series, looking to snap what is now an 11-game losing streak. And Bill, one more note in baseball. Former Mets closer Edwin Diaz is scheduled to undergo surgery this week to remove loose bodies in his right elbow. ESPN reports Diaz could sit out around 3 months. The team placed him on the 15-day injured list Monday and said he'll be back during the second half of this season.
So we wouldn't have had him anyway.
I guess we wouldn't have, but I mean, really, would we have been using him? Losing 11 straight games, you don't get many save opportunities.
Terrible. Terrible, as they say. Okay, in studio right now is Kaylee Buller, and Kaylee is running for the 22nd Congressional District as a Republican against John Mannion. If you want to hang, you say you have time.
Sure.
I mean, you came all the way in from Auburn this morning. It'll give us some time to chat about some topics, but I do have to get into the latest with Jonathan Savage, Fox News Radio, in regards to the U.S.-Iran peace talks. Will there be peace talks? Can you have peace talks without Iran participating? What is going to happen? We'll find out soon enough as the ceasefire will be coming to an end. I believe it's been extended until tomorrow. We'll talk about those issues with Kaylee as well. Stand by. Jonathan Savage is next at WIBX.
Clearing out your home or commercial building, John's Cleanouts and Property Preservation will handle it for you. We handle residential or any size commercial property, before and after estate sale cleanouts, or any junk removal service. John's Cleanouts and Property Preservation is a 5-star rated and background checked business, providing service you can count on, and we're fully insured in the industry. Call John's Cleanouts and Property Preservation today and take the stress out of your mess.
Don't rely on a standard off-the-shelf security system. When it comes to protecting your home, there's a big difference between plug and play and a professionally designed system. At CML Security, security is personal. Their skilled technicians meet with you one-on-one, walk your property, and design a custom system built around your family's needs. From security cameras, intrusion systems, and smart home features, they can also add a level of fire protection to their intrusion systems. They install commercial-grade equipment and provide a warranty on systems that they install. Call CML Security at 315-866-5845 today to schedule your in-home consultation. That's 315-866-5845, or visit cmlsecurity.net. Based in Herkimer, they serve the central New York area. CML Security. Call 315-866-5845. Personalized protection your family can trust.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter.
Start your mornings with sharp insight and straight talk from me, Brian Kilmeade. Weekdays right after Keeler in the morning. Don't miss the Brian Kilmeade Show, breaking down the biggest stories in politics, business, and culture with the voices shaping the headlines. From Washington power players to everyday Americans, we ask the questions you want answered. Miss it during the week? Catch the weekend edition Saturday morning at 7. The Brian Kilmeade Show right after Keeler on WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
We'll read a few comments before we get Kaylee back in here. River Hills Properties is continuing to grow in upstate New York. And you know what? The housing market right now, we are in a situation where short on stock. And there is a need, of course, with Micron. What's going on with Chobani, all of these things, we are in need of housing. It's a big problem. And to have a real estate agency that can assist you and help make that process easier is one of the greatest things. That's River Hills. Offices in Barneville, Little Falls, Utica, Copenhagen, Newport, they're actually in Rome, and Sarasota, Florida. You're thinking about getting away, especially after this winter was such a tough winter. Considering maybe being a snowbird. You live here during the nice weather and there when it's bad here. They can help. with a full team of agents ready to serve you the River Hills way. Never using a lockbox. Your listing agent is there every time the house is shown. 315-896-1009. Nobody sells homes like River Hills Properties. Jonathan Savage with Fox News Radio on right now. We're looking at this is a tense moment right now for the ceasefire, for this war between the U.S. and Iran. Jonathan Savage, where are we today with potential negotiations that may or may not include Iran?
Yeah, the clock is ticking towards the ceasefire ending at 8 p.m. tomorrow night. That's when we understand it's going to come to an end. But before then, there should be negotiations between the United States and Iran in Islamabad, Pakistan. And while Iran has not confirmed that they're actually going to turn up, there is, I think, growing optimism that these talks will take place. AP reporting in the last hour, 2 regional officials saying that the U.S. and Iran have signaled they will hold a new round of ceasefire talks tomorrow. This, though, is happening while both sides are exchanging threats, with President Trump saying that the bombs will start falling very quickly if there's no agreement. Iran also preparing for a possible escalation.
You know, I haven't heard anybody talk about this, and I'd like your opinion, Jonathan. Watching the way Iran is dealing with President Trump, they're really doing everything they can to discredit the president. If the president says there are peace talks, Iran will come out and say, we're not going to be a part of peace talks. If there's a ceasefire, etc., all of these things seem to be, they're working very hard to make President Trump look bad. So getting involved in our politics, it's not the first time they've been involved in our politics. If you recall, going back to the election between President Carter, the one that Ronald Reagan won, they played a role back then, and it was Inauguration Day that the hostages were released. So they kind of have a history in playing in our politics.
Well, there's no doubt that when President Trump says something, Iran very quickly contradicts it. On Friday, President Trump said that Iran had agreed to never close the Strait of Hormuz again. The next day, Iran closed the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah. President Trump has said that Iran has no military. Iran continues to fire missiles and drones towards ships that attempt to transit the Strait of Hormuz. So, I think that while the other thing President Trump, of course, has said is that there's a deal that Iran has all but agreed to. The problem in that regard, I think this speaks to the entirety of what we're saying here, is that there's more than one Iran right now. Right. There's a real power struggle going on. You've got the people who are pragmatists, who are negotiators, who are open to diplomacy, but they are being constrained back in Iran by hardliners, particularly those aligned with the paramilitary Revolutionary Guard, the ideological ones who have grown in influence in recent times. So the question will be, when this talks take place, just how much flexibility do the negotiators actually have?
Well, it's very interesting, too, because that dissension that has existed, look at it, 30 to 40,000 protesters were killed 6 months ago by the Iranians. And then it was just yesterday, very symbolic it seemed, one of the protesters, someone who was arrested for protesting, was hanged in public yesterday in Iran. So I think they're sending a message to those who are in the dissent. Beware, you will not live long if you continue.
There's no doubt that the Revolutionary Guard hardliners place the survival of the state, the survival of the ideology above the lives of their citizens, above the economic cost to their nation. We have seen that time and again with the repression, the crushing, the brutal crushing of dissent, the way that people are treated if they try to speak out or live their lives the way they want to in Iran. And we're seeing that with Iran continuing to control, to pursue a maximalist agenda in negotiations, despite the damage that's been done.
Go ahead.
I was going to ask, you referenced earlier the different factions in Iran. So if these negotiations do happen, do we know yet who the United States is actually dealing with? Whether it's the son of the former... I
don't think he's dealing with anybody right now.
Ayatollah, whether it's the IDF, not the IDF, the Iranian Defense Force. Yeah, who are we actually negotiating with?
Well, yeah, you mentioned the new Supreme Leader, Mujtaba Khamenei. Well, he has not been seen or heard from in some time. There are very, very good and valid questions about how much power he actually has right now. We don't really know his status. In the room, the U.S. delegation has been meeting Iran's foreign minister and the powerful speaker of the Iranian parliament. They are politicians. They have climbed the ladder of political success in Iran, but they are probably not the more hardliners. Essentially, they put phone calls back to Tehran, to the president there, to people in the Revolutionary Guard, and they give their input. It would appear as though the hardliners, the ones who may ultimately say, no, we're not doing this, are not the ones in the room carrying out the negotiations.
And just to correct myself, it's the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, as Jonathan mentioned. I called it the Iranian Defense Force. Which was
it is either way. This continues to linger on and is very fragile. We'll see where we go this week, Jonathan. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care.
All right. In studio right now is Kaylee Buller. She's a Republican candidate running for the seat currently held by John Mannion. Where are you on the Iran war?
So, I mean, first we have
nice and tight.
We have the best military in the whole world. I mean,
I don't think anybody can
absolutely
dispute that. Yeah,
we shouldn't want anyone to have nuclear missiles in Iran. I mean, terrorist-run governments have no place here. So, and we also have the best career civilians, political appointees who are advising the president, and they're in the weeds much more than we are on all of this. So I trust this conflict will be over quickly and that our government will do the right thing.
Okay. On ICE, where do you said we need a deal done on immigration. Mm-hmm. Has ICE gone too far?
There's been mistakes made, absolutely.
Yeah. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, and I also think, to close out the immigration, and this is obviously part of it, why we need a comprehensive immigration strategy. The laws on the books are what's being enforced. That's why Congress needs to kick in, and we need people to come up and roll their sleeves up. When the president came in, the border was wide open. As we've seen, he's used his executive authority to close the border, and the border is now closed. We've had 0 people come over the border. Biden could have done that. He did not. So now is an appropriate time to have that comprehensive immigration discussion because the border is now closed, and we have gotten rid of, hopefully, the majority of the criminals who are in this country. And I think we can all agree that the people who are here illegally, who are criminals, need to go. And so the rest of that population, we need to have that conversation as it relates to immigration reform, and it's the right time to do it now that all of these things have happened.
It's really what the farmers are saying, right? They're
oh
saying,
my gosh,
fix
the
this,
farmers.
Please.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Our dairy processors, our meat processors, our fruit and veg farmers, they need the H-2A labor, and it's easier for the fruit and veg farmers to use it. But dairy, you have to milk a cow every day, 24/7, and they can't have this small labor come in for a short time. They need year-round labor. Our strawberry farmers, they only need labor for, a few months, so that program works for them. It's not great, but absolutely, there's reforms that need to be made, and I tried to work on this inside the administration, but you can only go so far without congressional changes.
What about the northern border? It is that while the southern border has been taken care of, the northern border seems to still be a problem.
We love our friends to the north, right? I mean, I'm very in favor of our relationship with Canada. Obviously, the United States, Mexico, Canada negotiations are ongoing, but of course we need a secure border on both sides. But
so the problem you have on the northern border, and I don't know if you know, and I realize that would not be a part of the 22nd, but it is New York, and there is a steady flow of people that are coming in through Canada, through the northern border, that are coming in, and they include Mexicans, but also beyond that, people from the Middle East that are coming in. And some farmers have described it as there's someone there to pick them up, usually in I heard it described as in a black SUV, and somebody picks up these people, and we are not stopping that. We've taken care of the southern border, but there is a problem right here in New York State.
Take care of the northern border too.
Yeah. Okay. I mentioned, where are you on Ukraine, on the Ukraine war, and well, where are you on?
This conflict needs to be over. I mean, it's been going on far too long, and it's time for it to be over.
How do you end that, though? I mean, should Ukraine concede and give up territory to Russia?
I mean, this has been a long, ongoing situation, and hopefully this, too, will be put behind us soon. But I'm not in the negotiating room and what all that looks like, so I hope that our national security advisors will...
Told that you've raised a good deal of money. How have you done when it comes to raising money? I think they see you as maybe an Elise Stefanik type potential.
I'm an underdog candidate for sure.
Nice and tight.
I'm an underdog candidate for sure. I came in to the race late on March 3rd. The quarter for fundraising closed on March 31, so I had 3 weeks to raise money. I raised $200K in that 3 weeks. John Mannion has about $2 million, about 1.5 cash on hand. So I do have a heavy lift when it comes to fundraising, but I feel confident that there's enough frustration here and people are ready for change. So I'm also really proud of the support I've gotten from both the Republican and the Conservative Party. 7,500 signatures on the Republican line, 900 signatures on the Conservative line. So I have a lot of support. And frankly, there's a lot of independents in this district. There's about 180,000-ish registered Democrats, about 150 to 60,000 registered Republicans, and about 150,000 independents. And so that just shows you the frustration with the both party system. People are frustrated. Democrats, Republicans, they're frustrated. And there's a lot of people switching to independent because they want to look at the candidate for who they are and what they can accomplish. And I view my entrance to the race as someone who's results driven and a moderate. This district has been run by amazing statesmen, John Cacco, Richard Hanna, Jim Walsh, and that's what this district needs and deserves. These like moderate Republicans who are willing to break with the president on issues they believe strongly in, but also hold a principled common sense line when it matters for the district.
Sherry Bullard, also one you could mention as well. You say you're a moderate. Some believe, strategists would believe, that the president right now has a very low approval rating. That can hurt. Sometimes it can hurt someone like yourself who's running as a Republican. Are there times that you're uncomfortable with what comes out of or off the fingertips of President Trump?
Listen, I don't think any of us ever agree with anything that everyone says. And I'm coming in to run as me, and I have views that I will represent the district, and I'll agree with the president when I believe that he's right, and I will disagree in areas where he may not be. So, of course, I'm not going to come in here and say everyone's right all the time. I'm not right all the time. My views change constantly as I have conversations with people and learn things. So our views need to be ever-changing and growing as we learn more.
What many in Congress have learned is if you vote against President Trump, you get hammered pretty hard. You would be willing to take that for something you believe in?
Let's get elected, and I'll make the right vote for the district.
Okay. The other big issue right now is affordability.
Absolutely.
And I know it's something that you seem to have a great deal of experience with. You said you worked on egg prices, other issues in agriculture like meat, which is still very high. How do you solve this affordability problem?
Yeah, I mean, the number one thing that we're hearing about are pocketbook issues. They're kitchen table issues in our district, and people are really frustrated on what's going on with the energy bills, with housing availability. On the energy side of the house, New York has gone in the complete opposite direction. When, John Mannion was in state senate, this whole climate bill passed, and it's put us in the situation that we're in right now. I think we over-subsidized wind and solar and all of these things, and we're not utilizing the resources we have right here. The average energy bill is going to go up $4,000 per household, and people are feeling and seeing it now. And frankly, on the windmill side of the house over in Scipio and Venice, right near Auburn, we don't want the windmills. We're not interested. Albany's telling us we have to have them, and they're heavily subsidized. And frankly, it's cloudy over 200 days a year. Why do we need solar panels when it's cloudy like over 200 days a year? It's a little bit crazy to me. So in my view, we need an all of the above energy approach. If you want a solar panel or a windmill on your property that you're paying for, great. I don't think that we should be paying for it as taxpayers in areas in which we don't want them. There's room for nuclear. There's bipartisan support for nuclear energy, so that will actually significantly help our energy price if we can get some of these nuclear projects over the finish line. I've worked on nuclear projects at Department of Agriculture because it's a really good use of energy. We have a ton of resources right below us, and I know there's a ban on fracking in New York, but given our energy prices, we should do it. Pennsylvania's doing it. They have a Democrat governor, and the world hasn't fallen apart there. Like, we need to reopen this discussion on fracking because we have all these amazing resources here, and it can really significantly lower. And I've done a lot of work on the biofuels, corn and soy-based products. I support those too. So I really am an all of the above energy approach person. I do think this is bipartisan. I think we as a state have just moved way too far to embrace too much electric, too much solar, and too much wind, and we're not getting the bang for our buck. And so we need to revisit that, repeal the climate law, and get back to the table.
When you talked about affordability, obviously we touched on grocery prices. We talked about energy prices. Gas currently in the short term is not something that we're enjoying seeing. When you did your, I don't want to say farm to table, you did your kitchen table tour Were there other things that popped out that you weren't aware of or things that we haven't covered so far?
Well, I'm on the kitchen table tour now, and I'm talking to folks in all the districts, so please reach out if you want me to come to an event or things like that. Listeners can go to my website and click, and I don't care if you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent. I want to hear from you.
When you say kitchen table, you go into people's homes?
I'm happy to. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I mean, I'll go to a local library. I'll go anywhere. I'll go to a coffee shop. I will go anywhere and listen to constituents in this district because I don't want my staff to just tell me where I'm going. I want people who want to talk to me to reach out to me, and I hear what they want to say to me.
You are in town. Last time we talked to you on the phone. I would love to have you in studio. Yeah. What are you doing in town or in central New York during this visit?
Yeah, right now, today, I am heading to Channel 2 to chat with them, and then I'm going to be in Onondaga, Syracuse all night doing various events, meeting with various constituents. But, I mean, every day I'm all over the district, so whenever there's something here, let me know. I'm going to have a coffee and lunch with a couple folks here after I leave here. And when you ask about the affordability issues, I mean, housing is another issue, and I heard you talk about that. We actually have more houses available right now than we have in history. We have more people selling their houses. We have more people selling their houses right now than there are buyers. People cannot afford to buy their first home, and that's the problem that we have. We're in this constant rat race of like, I have rent, I can't save up enough money. So there is housing availability right now. We don't have
Not
people,
here, there isn't.
Well, I mean,
it's a big problem here.
Auburn, Onondaga, Syracuse, and so
Not sure
that's
about
what I'm
there,
hearing
but
about.
Here, there's a major shortage in
so
the
we have
amount
two
of
problems
homes
that we need to deal with. We need to deal with affordability, and
we need to add housing here. We have a lot of people that will be coming in that are going to work at Chobani or work at Micron, and where do they live? So the housing is a major problem for us here.
If I could quickly follow up on that. So that's something that I think we hear, that I hear a lot. It's like, okay, so there might be some houses for sale, but the housing prices have gone up so much. So if you own a home, it was a great investment, and obviously you're getting the return on that. But you talk about people in their mid-20s, maybe just starting a family, they can't afford it. How do you fix that?
Yeah, I mean, this is a very challenging topic. I mean, interest rates are starting to come down, but that takes a while. I mean, they're down, but they need to come down more, and we need to, provide our folks in this age group with more options. I mean, childcare is another super expensive cost that we all have. I mean, I have 3 kids. It's not cheap. So these are all things that we have to work on together, and they can't be done in a bubble. We have to do them in a bipartisan way.
Your mother was a nurse?
Yep, Alzheimer's
or is
nurse.
A nurse. Mm-hmm. And your father worked in the prison system.
Yep, correctional officer. He just retired 41 years at the Auburn prison. So
good time to get out. What do you think of the state's reforms that they've made?
It is so frustrating. I mean, I talk to prison guards every day, and they're like, we want to leave too. It is absolutely crazy what our state has done with the Hall Act and things like that. I mean, we have to do better. We're going to lose. And these are really good paying jobs my dad didn't go to college, right? He graduated high school, and then he made a great living for himself. And now we're disincentivizing people with these broken laws to not even get into the business.
Well, ultimately, what we've done is we've created a scenario where it's less safe for the corrections officers and for the inmates. I mean, everybody is less safe right now based on people passing rules and regulations who don't understand the system. That's part of the problem. Anything else you want people to know? Kaylee Buller is a Republican, moderate, you call yourself. You do sound, you're hitting on a couple of issues like cost of college, cost of buying a home, daycare. You sure you're not primarying Mr. Mannion?
It's just me and Mannion in the race. And I mean, I have a results-driven career, and I look forward to continuing to talk with you all about that. And I think once the voters see that I'm serious and that John Mannion hasn't done anything, I mean, his only viral moment has been him flipping out and getting escorted on the House floor. He is one of the least effective members of Congress, and that's not what this area deserves. This is a challenging time for Central New York, and we are at a crossroads, and you need real representation who's going to pound on the table and advocate for you, and I will do that. And I will do that in a way that that benefits our community.
To be fair, in the minority, it's not an easy thing to be a game changer. However, we all at some point, I would think, should be working together for the betterment of the country.
Well, I disagree a little just because when I was the chief of staff to the secretary, there were Democrats that called me every day, Rosa DeLauro, Fetterman from Pennsylvania. Those people advocate for their people, and I would always pick up their call. Klobuchar, every day I would hear from her staff almost. John Manning didn't call USDA. He would send a letter here and there and say, why isn't this office open? The Syracuse office, I'm the one that saved that office. It wasn't John Manning. He sent a letter in. So there are democratic ways to effectively advocate that are not public. They are behind closed doors, and you call people and you have a conversation just like we're having right now, and he is not doing that. And there are Democrats who do it well, and he's not one.
I want you to know that when you leave, Manesky and I will talk about you.
Yeah, sure.
And I think we'll both agree that you are not a pushover.
No, sir.
By any means. So running as a Republican, Kaylee Buller, thank you so much for the time. We appreciate it.
I'll come anytime.
All right, let's do it again.
Thank you all for your time.
And thank you for coming in studio. Quick break. It's 8:35 at WIBX.
Hurt in a car? Call William Attar. 315-444-4444.
The Sharp family has been serving Central New York plumbing and heating needs for over 100 years. Sharp Plumbing and Drain is a fully insured, licensed professional contractor providing both residential and light commercial installations and repairs. Give Frank and his team a call today at 315-796-5750. 315-796-5750. Sharp Plumbing and Drain. They want to be your plumber.
Lots of places can expose you to identity theft.
Oh, no.
That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity, which is way more than anyone can do on their own. If we find anything suspicious, like new loans or changes to your financial accounts, we alert you right away, all through text, phone, email, or the LifeLock app. Get the alerts that could make all the difference. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Something old is new in the village of New Hartford. Introducing Handshake Antiques, now open at 66 Genesee Street, next to Giorgio's Village Cafe. Not your grandma's antique shop. Think clean, curated, and cool. From high-end furniture, vintage fashion, vinyl records, to oddities and all things eclectic. And we're always buying, so look in your attic or basement. And if it's old, call Handshake Antiques. Plus, inventory changes weekly, so every visit is a new find. Handshake Antiques, where it never went out of style.
Veterans, you and your family know all too well the many hardships that challenge your mental, physical, and spiritual well-being. The Good News Foundation invites you to a free fellowship group of veterans. This get-together is run by retired Army Chief Warrant Officer 4 Richard Smith, the author of Camouflage Christian. Check out Veterans for Worship the third Wednesday of the month from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Good News Foundation, sharing faith, offering hope, and serving others.
We have some sunshine, 28 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaske. Vice President J.D. Vance is prepared to lead a delegation to Pakistan today for potential peace talks with Iran. Will they happen, though? Iran's foreign ministry has said no decision has been made to come to the table for more talks. President Trump has threatened to knock out Iran's power plants and bridges if no deal is reached, as the ceasefire between the two countries is set to expire on Wednesday. Virginians head to the polls today for a vote that could shape the future of Congress. If successful, the redistricting referendum would redraw the state's congressional maps and could give Democrats a 10-1 advantage in the upcoming midterms. The Supreme Court will decide whether or not Catholic preschools in Colorado must accept children from same-sex couples in order to receive state funding. A state law allowing public and private schools to take part in a universal preschool program includes a non-discrimination provision. Alan Osmond, the oldest of the Osmond brothers, has passed. The 76-year-old entertainer died last night surrounded by his wife and their 8 children. 8 sons, in fact. His family says he battled multiple sclerosis for about 40 years. Three teams earned Game 2 wins in the opening round of the NBA playoffs yesterday. In the East, Cleveland took a commanding 2-0 lead over Toronto. The Hawks tied up the best-of-7 series with the Knicks. I'm still sore about this one at MSG. It's 1-1. Game 3 in that series will come up on Thursday. Out west, the T-Wolves knotted up their series with the Nuggets after a 119-114 victory in Denver. And Singer David, spelled D4VD, will return to a Los Angeles courtroom Thursday after he pleaded not guilty yesterday to all charges connected to the death of a teenage girl. The performer, whose real name is David Burke, was arrested Thursday after the remains of a 14-year-old girl, Celeste Rivas Hernandez, were found in the trunk of his Tesla last year. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time, 8:40. Here's your Weather Center forecast.
Boy, cold now, late April morning, and the clear sky, the cold weather will stick with us here until the sunshine starts to do its work on the atmosphere. Only to about 50 this afternoon. Probably going to see some more clouds come in later, too. Tonight, upper 30s, so we're milder. Adirondack still a little chillier. Partial sun tomorrow, up near 60. Thursday, beautiful day, sunshine. Highs will be in the low 60s. I'm meteorologist Ray Stachik at the Weather Channel on WIBX, 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Clearing out your home or commercial building, John's Cleanouts and Property Preservation will handle it for you. We handle residential or any size commercial property, before and after estate sale cleanouts, or any junk removal service. John's Cleanouts and Property Preservation is a 5-star rated and background checked business, providing service you can count on, and we're fully insured in the industry. Call John's Cleanouts and Property Preservation today and take the stress out of your mess.
Lots of places can expose you to identity theft.
Oh no.
That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity, which is way more than anyone can do on their own. If we find anything suspicious, like new loans or changes to your financial accounts, we alert you right away, all through text, phone, email, or the LifeLock app. Get the alerts that could make all the difference. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Well, we're hearing from Lance and Lee like heavy this morning. Very upset that I asked her about the comprehensive immigration, and it is true that President Trump squashed a deal that Republicans and Democrats in the Senate had worked out, and the president squashed it. That is true. I say own it. Just own it. I mean, in order to win in this district, they have picked a candidate, I feel, in her that is a moderate and could be effective in the 22nd.
Yeah.
Right?
And as you say,
independent. She's not a pushover. I think she's a very interesting candidate.
If elected, I hope that she does stick to what she said there is about, I feel like I'll support the issues that are right. I'm paraphrasing here, but the point being, it isn't, I'm just going to follow whatever Donald Trump says. And whether you like Trump or not, sometimes he's wrong, and I think that's a good thing for our district. Somebody who's willing to stand up to a person in power, regardless of what side of the aisle they are on, in advocating for our district. So I hope that's the truth.
Ken in Bridgewater, Mannion isn't in minority. What's come up with that he came up with a bill for comprehensive immigration. Republicans haven't passed anything other than the big beautiful bill, which is a travesty the whole time they've been in, and they vote everything else down. What planet is she living on? All right, and then Lance, Bill just coughed in his hand, then shook her hand. Well, I hope I didn't do that.
I don't. You've been coughing into a napkin this morning.
Yeah.
He
Possible.
also said,
Lance is all over me today.
I have to share this. It made me laugh.
Lance, I'm just going to tell you, some of your comments are sinking like the Titanic. They just aren't effective. They're sinking like the Titanic.
I sure hope she doesn't say that homeschooling is a great option for kids. All hell's going to break loose in that studio. That one made me chuckle out loud.
And let me tell you, on that issue, I have no problem with somebody homeschooling. But when someone comes in and says, we homeschool because teachers are poisoning the minds of our children, that is bullshangle. And I'm sorry. I'm not just going to stand up for that, nor would you, Lance.
And Lance, by the way, weighing in on the, we'll call it a beef or whatever, with Mayor Galimi and Comptroller Frank Miola. He says someone should tell Thurston Galim that elections have consequences. Miola got elected in part due to the residents being unhappy with the current mayor and his policies. Just look at the results across the city. Apparently, he doesn't get it. Now, look, Lance, I understand what you're saying, and whether that is correct or not, we're using the whole point about pen and paper. And I do think if this reflects back on the Bill Morehouse administration, it should have been called out then. But I'm sure what Lance is not saying is that he supports sending a check for $500,000 taxpayer dollars to a business for a service that's already been paid for. And that's a mistake that was apparently the result of not having an online system that tracks these payments. I know Lance isn't saying he supports wasting $500,000 taxpayer dollars. He couldn't possibly.
I couldn't imagine. That'd be like sinking on the Titanic.
By the way, we're going to reach out. We are in the process of reaching out to the mayor and the comptroller to get them on later this week to talk more about the issue.
Frank Miola on the line right now. On line number 2. Frank, good morning. Thanks for calling in. This has been quite an issue with you and the mayor. Almost your comment makes it seem as if you're taken aback a bit by the mayor going public on this.
Well, hello, Bill, and I am an unhappy Mets fan here.
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay,
yeah,
but what
terrible.
about the budget?
Yeah.
What about? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, 11 straight losses, buddy. It's not looking good.
Yeah,
and now they're paying. Now they have to play in Boston tonight, so that's going to be just awful.
Boy, no, they're obviously at home against the Twins. I made a mistake.
Now they're playing against Boston tonight.
Yeah, the split squad.
Yeah.
Maybe it is better that they split up the Mets. Maybe they can have a winning streak with a split squad in one half. These terrible Mets fans.
Mets fans are terrible? Why are the Mets fans terrible?
No, the Mets are terrible right now.
Okay, all right. These terrible Mets fans. That's what you said.
I think it's time for owner Uncle Steve Cohen to step up and make some changes here. We have some good players in AAA Syracuse. Call up Christian Scott to pitch and recall Ronnie Mauricio and call up Ryan Clifford to play first base. We don't have a first baseman, and it's who's on first. I don't know what's on second, and who cares who's on third. This is a terrible team.
Yeah, it's not good right now. And Stephen, I have never heard you so on fire as you are today. That's just incredible.
That's got to be one of your best calls, bud.
All right, Stephen. Thanks, man.
And Mendoza better watch it. He could be out the door if they don't turn it around quickly.
Well, at what point do you not say we need a change here? I mean, they changed the entire offense. And
they changed the entire offense, and they got rid of almost the entire coaching staff except for the head coach. Now, you want to cut Mendoza some slack, I get it. But I'm telling you, the Mets did not have the historic collapse they had last year because of the third base coach.
No.
He wasn't the reason.
And I got to tell you something. I got to tell you.
Certain people got fired.
Add some pitching, and I think we can stick with the rest of the team that you have. I mean, I think they had a shot this year. Well, and now I don't know what we have right now.
I think we mentioned pitching a couple times. I think the real issue here is the offense. We got to get Lindor out of the leadoff. I know they've changed that for a couple games here. I don't love him as a leadoff hitter. I just think he can drive in more runs than being a table setter. Also, how many times are we going to lose 1-0
right now,
or 2-1?
He can't hit the ball right now.
No, nobody on the team can.
Yeah. Okay, Stephen. You know what this is? This is when things get bad. And then you're living with it bad and it doesn't get better, your play gets worse. And then you're going to have defensive errors and all the lack of judgment. All of this is happening as they are plummeting out of control. And who can fix that? Yeah, they're all professionals, but you need a manager to go in there and shake things up a little bit. And I don't know what he's doing. Okay, Stephen, thanks. I've been to.
Hey, bye, Bill.
All right, thank you.
You jokingly said that we had the controller on the line. Now I have the former controller on the other end of a text message. You want to get into this now?
Well, yeah, just quickly, and then Judy, stand by. I'm going to be right with you.
Bill Morehouse, previous controller, City of Utica, says, yeah, my office used pen and paper, and the Pope is Jewish. That's what he said. So apparently
he's Pope? Oh, no, I get it. Okay, sorry.
Look, WKTV's got this story, and I believe this came from the mayor. I mean, they didn't make this up. The city of Utica has been working to improve how it tracks budgets and spending after a costly mistake led to a double payment. Ultimately, I guess I disagree that it wasn't a costly mistake because it was caught. The vendor said, hey, you've already paid us, so take your check back. So it didn't really cost them. But this says 2024, the city paid $485,000 twice.
Neol is taking this personally from the mayor. I'm surprised Bill Morehouse isn't taking it personally.
Bill, we only got a few minutes left this morning, but we'd love to talk later this week if you can kind of clear some of this up.
And we'll also talk the Mets. He's as disgusted as we are. I don't know if you saw this story. This might also have been on KTV. I could not believe Judy Cussworth from Woodhaven.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I didn't realize when a bear is young, they're just looking for a parental figure, and you can cuddle a bear. I'm like, Mom, be careful. The bear's going to bite you in the face. But no, Judy rescued a bear cub. If you've not seen this story, she's going to talk about it. Judy, good morning, and thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
No, not a problem.
Weren't you worried the little bear cub was gonna scratch you or bite your face?
You know, honestly, my father brought me up to never be afraid of anything.
Yeah.
I don't even wear gloves most of the time.
Wow.
So no, I don't even. I really don't even give that a thought anymore. It's been 35 years.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I gotta say, tell us this.
KTV does have it. It's adorable. Looks like a little puppy.
Tell us how you spotted the bear. This was a bear cub separated from its mother, and the end of the story is positive too.
Okay, well, what happened was my DEC officer called me and said, "Are you going to be home?" And I said, "Yeah." Where would I go? And he said, "Okay, well, I'm going to be coming over. I'm bringing you something." And I said, "Okay, well, what are you bringing me?" He said, "A bear cub."
Wow.
I'm like, "Yeah, okay." So he walks in the door with this bear cub. And he looked at me and he goes, "Oh my God." He said, "I hate to give this up." So anyway, then he explained to me the cub was in the middle of West Ava Road. And what happened was people were stopping.
Yeah.
So this one guy, he stopped, pulled over. He was sitting on the back of his truck watching the little bear. His brother's a state trooper. So he called his brother. And the brother came out, and then the brother called the DEC. And that's how they got the bear cub.
It is the cutest. I realize bear cubs turn into bears. Yeah. But and the other part is that you have to be a little worried about is if I'm the police officer or the animal control, you get near a bear cub and the mother's nearby. Yeah. Oh boy, good luck.
Okay, well, what had happened was, here's all these cars pulled over. Here's this bear cub, and there's no mother coming out, and then nothing. So anyway, the trooper picked up the bear cub, and the troopers and the DEC searched the area looking for a mother, and they didn't find one. So a person who I know very well, she lives in the area, and she said to me, Judy, somebody in the neighborhood they had a camera out, and they had seen a mother and a cub the night before. Now, is it the same mother? Who knows? Was that the cub that was lost? Who knows? Where's the mother? Nobody knows, except that that's an area where there's a lot of gunshots constantly, even not during hunting season.
Yeah.
So, do we know what happened to her? No, we don't know. Yeah.
But now, so at the end of the day, you will take this off to a rehabilitation center, this bear. I think you've already done that, right?
Yeah, we did that. There's only one licensed bear rehabilitator in New York State, and he's in Greene County.
Wow. Was there a little part of you were like, you know what, this could be a pet. I could make this a pet.
Well, that happens all the time.
Yeah. It had to be hard. I mean, you seem to adore this bear cub. The video that I saw. Yeah.
I did. Everybody did, and and when I took it to Dave, who was the bear rehabilitator, I just looked at him and I said, I'm going to tell you something. It's a good thing you took this bear as quick as you did. Otherwise, it probably would be tamed.
Yeah, it would be tamed. John Wick says, not having some fear is not a good thing. You should have a little bit of fear. I mean, ultimately, you know that even if you tamed this animal, at some point its instincts would probably kick in, right?
Yeah, because an adult, you raise a raccoon from a baby, and when they reach maturity, things get ugly.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, it is. It's a really cool story, and we talked a while back about your love for animals, and I think your husband was like, "You have no idea the stuff she'll do to." And here's a great example. My wife and I were watching TV the other night, and she's like, "That's the woman from the restaurant we were at."
Yeah.
So. I just want to say, great story, and thank you for telling it here on the radio.
Okay, well, thank you.
All right, and by the way, for Woodhaven Wildlife Center, talk about that just briefly and how people can help out.
Okay, well, Woodhaven Wildlife Center, obviously, it's a not-for-profit. We don't get paid. Everything here is volunteer. Sometimes people will bring an animal in and, they will donate, but not all the time. And we'll do anything. We do a lot of things on our own that we don't, we don't charge. We do a lot of rescues, crazy, but we do a lot of wildlife rescues. I climb trees, I go up in buckets, all that stuff. So because it's nonprofit, I have a Woodhaven Wildlife Facebook page. There's PayPal, there's Venmo, and I mean, as far as what I need, that changes periodically with what comes in.
Right. So money is probably the easiest way for you to help, for someone to help.
It is, honestly, because like now we're getting ready, baby season. We've got a baby red fox that came in, so the babies are coming.
Yep. Okay.
And we buy formulas specifically for each species, and that we have to order from Fox Valley. So that's expensive.
All right. So they should look for Woodhaven Wildlife Center on Facebook.
Yes.
Okay, Judy. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great day.
Yep,
Great story. And you can see the video on KTV's website.
I'll just mention that hearing you talk about the bear cub and then at some point the instincts kick in and just reminds me of my son, so lovable and adorable as a baby, and parents kept telling me, wait till he becomes a teenager.
Right.
Wait till he becomes a teenager.
Yes, he'll be you. The Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills is accepting new patients. With the addition of Dr. Cheryl Mattern, add her to Dr. Zielinski and Dr. Shamileski, Dr. Kuzminski, and others, all under one roof at the Falcon Clinic. And boy, it's a great spot if you're in need of a new primary physician. They're accepting new patients now. 315-507-4751. And in Sarah's Flooring Outlet, if you're looking for flooring, in Sarah's is the place to go. just the experts that they have. Sam Rudolph is the manager. He's been in home improvement for years. Jason, Alan, Fran, Sal, and Sarah. These are experts when it comes to flooring. Why would you go anywhere else? It's in Sarah's Flooring Outlet, River Road in Marcy, and online in sarahsflooringoutlet.com.
WIBX Utica Road, W295 From the WB Payne Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
The U.S. military takes over another ship. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, but this one was not in or near the Strait of Hormuz, where the military on Sunday took control of a cargo ship trying to get around a blockade on Iran's ports.
The announcement from the Pentagon says it happened overnight. U.S. forces, without incident, boarding the MV Tiffany in the Indian Ocean. It was sanctioned last summer for smuggling Iranian crude oil in Asia. The ship's had other names and has sailed under several countries' flags. The Pentagon statement refers to it as stateless and says, as we have made clear, we will pursue global maritime enforcement efforts to disrupt illicit networks and interdict sanctioned vessels, providing material support to Iran anywhere they operate.
That's Fox's Chris Foster. This is a second